Live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we got an ICE job fair out there in Arlington, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. I like it, love it, want more of it. Shout out to McGraw. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, Burning Man 2025. Why would anybody go to this festival at this point? I understand the thrill seekers, but good grief. I mean, that's a little bit too much thrill for me. I think bungee jumping or climbing Mount Everest might be a little bit safer than going to Burning Man at this point, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got a bunch of alleged Epstein victims coming forward, but for some reason we got Gloria Allred in the mix. What's going on? Am I on the Truman Show? Is it all a big game? What is this? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Chicago residents say, hey, please bring the guard, please bring ICE, please bring some order to our streets. But the mayor, the governor, leadership say, nah, don't worry about it. The crime ain't that bad. I mean, hey, it's only in the black area. Who cares about that, right? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Patrick Bet-David destroyed a bunch of 28-year-old, 15-year-olds on Jubilee. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got quite a bit happening. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all from everywhere, wherever you're viewing me from. Shout out to you guys who were on the Instagram stream last night. I really enjoyed that. And again, the Instagram stream is every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know I'm here on the regular YouTube stream every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 p.m. or so. So check me out on all those days. But I'm here all the time putting out long form videos, short form videos, whatever you want. I got it right on all my platforms and on the YouTube channel right now. But we got quite a bit happening. The Epstein situation is so goofy. I mean, I'm going to just say it. I don't care. People might get mad, and that's fine. People been getting mad at me all my life. I'm always a bad guy for some kind of reason. Just like what Trump, ain't that what Trump said on Fresh Prince? They always want to blame me for something. That's how I feel sometimes, but it's okay. It's fine. It's more love than hate. But I've been saying this whole Epstein thing is kind of a charade. I mean, look, I don't even want to get into it all the way. I just want to show you a picture right quick. I don't want to get into it just yet. I know we just starting. I want y'all to get time to stream on in, okay? So I ain't going to just go straight for the jugular within 5 seconds. But look, so you see this picture right here? You got Thomas Massey, a Republican, Marjorie Taylor Greene, another Republican, and you got signs talking about Trump's a pedo, all this and the third. What are we doing here? What exactly are we doing? I don't really understand. Like, what am I seeing? You bring a Gloria Allred out. You bring in a so-called super MAGA woman from out here in North Georgia to be in front of the signs that say Trump is a pedophile. But where's the evidence to say that? Just because people think that there's files that say something does not mean they actually exist. My thing is with the Epstein situation, if there are files, then why have they not been produced as of yet? It would have been a golden opportunity. Don't you understand? Especially if the files implicated Trump, that it would have been fantastic to put him out there as what they're trying to say is in these signs right here. It would have been great to do it because that would have been the way to get him out of office or to keep him out of office. Ain't nothing to find. So it's just this ongoing thing that's never ending, and it's never going to end because the thing that people want, the smoking pistol, the smoking gun from this story, ain't never going to materialize. If it existed, it would have already been out there. We had WikiLeaks happen back in the day. We had all kind of stuff get leaked all the time, but somehow nothing from the Epstein files is out there. Aside from what we already know, there's nothing new. So what are we even doing? I don't get it. It's just kind of weird to me. And then they're talking about well, we got our own list we're going to put out. So now you're just going to accuse people of stuff, but where's the evidence? So if the victims in the case just put out some names, they could put out anybody. And there's not going to be a request to see evidence to prove whether the person did something or not. Just the mention of their name will be enough to ruin them. It'll be enough to ruin somebody just from their name being mentioned, and it might not even be true. Who are these people? We see all the time where you have these fake people, these actors, actresses come forward and say anything. Didn't we see it with Christine Blasey Ford? Who was that even? Who was that? A random lady talking about Brett Kavanaugh had did something to her many years ago, talking about something. He was 18 years old, drinking beer, stupid stuff. Luckily for us, Brett Kavanaugh was basically a choir boy and had 100 women write a letter and go on TV physically showing their face in real time saying that Brett Kavanaugh would never, he was my best friend and I loved him. Luckily for us, and luckily for him, he had that. But if he didn't have that, Christine Blasey Ford could have been incredible. She got a big bag of money and we've not seen her since. She was casted to do a particular role and they sent her right back to the central booking or whatever central casting. They sent her right back to central casting like it never happened. And I feel like I'm seeing the same thing again with the whole Epstein situation because the Democrats saw a golden opportunity. Okay, there's a thing that some of the MAGAs are upset with Trump over. Let's just hop on that, make that be our cause and use it as a way to diminish Trump's popularity for the 2026, that's next year, for the 2026 primary and the 2028 general election, because they want to get back in the White House. They don't want to have J.D. Vance or Vivek or Marco or who else? My man, DeSantis. They don't want anybody else in there other than them. So they'll use this to make that happen. And what better way to employ the services of Gloria Allred, who is a big Hillary Clinton supporter and a big time never Trumper, and has been that way for the past, I don't know how many years, since 2008 or before, when Hillary Clinton first ran, and then Trump was criticizing her back then. She'd been a never Trump person before Trump even came down the escalator, she was anti-Trump. And now we got to trust her with this whole Epstein situation. Please give me a break. I don't believe anything that comes from this story. And I've been told y'all that it was a bunch of BS and I'm going to ignore it. And this is exactly why. I feel like I've been vindicated per usual. I've been vindicated right here. But we're going to see, though. I mean, I want Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey to explain how you could be on TV in front of a sign that says something like this. Okay, I want you to explain how you, Thomas Massey, a so-called Republican, and you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a so-called Republican, can be on television in front of signs like this. Okay, like how dare you? If you got a problem with the whole Epstein situation, you guys are in Congress. You guys got the power to make it happen. Maybe, potentially, I guess. You guys have more power than anybody else. Why would you be out here like you're protesting to make stuff happen? You are in Congress. It's your job to make it happen. Look, you see this sign? Look, you got pedo 47. They're calling Trump a pedophile. And then another one right here, okay, with Trump on it. GOP, guardians of pedophiles. You see what's going on here? So my question is, why as a Republican would you ever be in front of signs like this? If you got a problem with the Epstein situation, handle it internally rather than embarrassing the whole party for something that's probably nothing. It's probably a big hoax, just like Trump said. It's a big hoax. So what exactly are we doing? I don't really know. You know what I think, though? I think maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey got roped into the whole liberal agenda unbeknownst to them. That points to a certain level of incompetence. It is what it is, because I don't care about nothing. If there's an internal issue, we're going to handle it internally, and then whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to be out there protesting my president as a Republican. Are you stupid? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I never would have thought I would see the day where that would happen. But hey, man, it's 2025. Idiocracy is a real thing. It's a real thing. I mean, can you imagine like a Democrat, like an actual Democrat that's like, I'm pro-Democrat. I'm on this, that, and the third. I believe in trans people. I believe in whatever. And then they're in front of a sign and talking about how bad Biden is or how bad Bill Clinton is, or even worse. Imagine this. How about you have top Democrats protesting the Lord and Savior Barack Hussein Obama? Imagine that. Are you talking about tarred and feathered, burned at the stake? It'd be a complete crazy, ridiculous mess. That's what it would be. And they would never do that for that reason. They would never do that for that reason, but here we are. So yeah, shout out to them. Hey, I'm not trying to say there's nothing to the Epstein situation, but you got to handle it a certain kind of way. The way to not handle it as a Republican is to go out there and be in front of signs talking about the president, your president, the guy you support, is a PDF file. This is just silly. But I think certain people are just kind of dumb and they don't know what they're doing and they're easily wrapped up in stuff like this. Okay, and you know what? I'm going to say something else. Talk about Jubilee right quick. Not the person that I was in front of, but just the whole concept of Jubilee. People say they don't want to go on Jubilee as a guest because they don't foster a healthy environment. They make you look crazy. Look, if you go on television, if you go on the podcast, whatever you do, it's your job to present yourself how you want to be presented. Okay, if you are not being presented well from what they're saying, if they say certain, if they tell you certain things to do and you don't want to do it, you have the option to say yes or no. If you have the opportunity to engage in a back and forth screeching match, you can do it or you cannot do it. It's up to you. What you want to do with yourself, you have the power. You have the power. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'm reading some of the comments here. I'm reading some of the comments because I think maybe some of y'all feel the same way I feel. But this press conference, man, we're going to get into it. It was a mess. And Gloria Allred, I'm thinking I'm about to have, what's the name, Ashton Kutcher come out, talking about you've been punked. Maybe they're going to just turn the lights off in my house saying, hey, you've been watched your whole life. This is a Truman Show. This is not really real. There may be a crisis that happens on television and there's answers that need to happen. So we got to conclude it with this particular thing we did over here. Let's bring in Gloria Allred yet again. I'm surprised they ain't bring back Christine Blasey Ford. That would have been a nice touch. Hey, have Christine Blasey Ford be one of the Epstein victims. How about that? That would have been crazy. But it's 2025. I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less than the unexpected. J.R. Williams says, hey, ABL, is it just me or did the Epstein victim press conference seem super hokey? One victim said she lured 24 girls to Epstein at $200 a pop. $200 to go fly to a whole nother island with some kind of multi-billionaire. Make it make sense. $200, that's like crack smoker on the street prices. What are we talking about? This is nonsense. This is nonsense. This is a charade meant to just misdirect people or satisfy them with the conclusion of this case. In my humble opinion, because what else can it be? $200? Really? Come on. To go to Epstein Island? Oh, like you on a plane? Come on. Like, I'm just not buying it. It just doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Or there's a lot more to the story that we don't know. There's a lot more to the story that we don't know. But at the end of the day, I told y'all, I've been saying it. It's BS. It's nonsense. It's bogus. And I hope those who disagreed with me back then are starting to see where I was coming from. And if that's the case, that's fine. Welcome back to the right side of things. If you still are kind of on the other side, I understand. I feel you. It's okay. We can disagree and still be cool. In my humble opinion. Okay. Victim could be a perp. That's what it sounds like, right? Okay. But I don't believe that she's a victim or a perp. I believe the whole thing is just a big fat hoax and a scam, just like Trump said. He said it. He 100% said it. So, I mean, I think maybe it's now time to just look at what he's talking about and take it seriously. All right. That's all that it is. Okay. They were foster kids. Wait, were they kids or adults? What are we talking about? Let's be clear. Let's be clear here. Were they children or adults? Because that's a big difference. Were they in foster care at one point when they were minors and then they got to be 24 years old and then they out in the street? Like, what's going on? I'm trying to figure out the reality. But again, this is why I've not really been following this. But when I saw Gloria Allred on my TV, I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing got way out of control. What in the world is happening? You believe in Cat Ferris? Hey, that's okay. I just feel like there's some funny stuff going on. If there was something about Trump, it already would have been released. The only reason there could be a thing about Trump that is known to the powers that be and it's not been released is because there's other things about other people that they don't want to get out. In my opinion, whatever it is or it isn't, anybody never going to know because it'll never come out because there's no actual records to release to the public. That's just my humble opinion. Okay, youngest is 14, mostly 17. Okay. TJ says, on later seasons of Ellen, the background of her stage was Jeffrey Epstein Island, hidden in plain sight. Yes, hold on. I remember that, though. I do remember that. Hold on. So let me just show you what we're talking about here. Now, technically, this is not Epstein Island, but it's the same type of situation. Matter of fact, we probably need a side by side. Hold on, see if I can get it right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, so let me just show you one, then I'm going to show you the other. That's probably the best way to go about it so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the famous Epstein Island building that you may have seen quite a bit. This blue and white structure right here on the island. Okay, so that's the famous picture of Epstein Island. So remember this structure, the blue and white structure right there in the center. Remember that, and then I'm going to show you Ellen's stage at one point. Okay, this was her stage. Now you can see this piece over here is just part of the set. But it looks very similar to what we just saw, that blue and white horizontal stripe. Is that just by happenstance? And we also have palm trees in the digital part of the background. So is that just a coinky dink that you got palm trees and the blue and white horizontal stripe on your actual set? Like, and I saw that back in the day too. I was like, what is that? I kind of put two and two together to think that it might be some kind of connection, but maybe it's just a coinky dink, a coincidence. It's just we just happen to have these stripes and the palm trees with the clouds. There's no connection to Epstein Island at all. I mean, hey, but the thing about Ellen, if Ellen was involved with that, we already know about Ellen and how crazy she was. We know about that. That ain't no secret. Everybody knows that. What happened to that DJ dude she had? Whatever happened to him? That black dude that got killed, or maybe he died. I don't know what happened. Young black dude that got mysterious circumstance. He died the same way Barack Obama's what was that, the butler dude or the cook? Oh, he just mysteriously died off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. Oh, okay. All right. It's whatever. I think we know who's doing what. So ain't no point in trying to like go on this wild goose hunt for a thing that we know probably ain't there. Your Ellens and whatnot operate out in the open and there's no secret about what they do. Okay. Delisa P says that design and color pattern were common in Kuwait, Qatar. Interesting. Tina says, I have palm trees in my backyard too, ABL. I have 11 and I'm not crazy. Hey, shout out to the palm trees. Okay. You know, Hollywood is weird. That's right, NDRN. The DJ dude died from Ellen and the chef dude died with Barack Obama. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a picture of the DJ dude. Hold on. Ellen, DJ Twitch. That was his name. RIP DJ Twitch. Okay. So this right here is DJ Twitch, RIP. He died like not too long after this picture. So he was pretty young, like what, 30s or 40s or something like this. Hold on. How old was he? He was right at 40 years old. He died in 2022. Mysterious death, right? So 40 years old, that's when he died. And then, okay, the Obama chef, how old was he? Tafari Campbell was 45. Very interesting. All right, and then let me show you a picture of him before I keep on rocking and rolling. All right, so my question is, what's going on? Just coincidences? Probably so, you know. I don't want to try to be one of these guys that got a map in their basement with the red line looking crazy. I ain't trying to be that meme. I'm just saying, mysterious circumstance. Oh, he drowned. Oh, okay. The Obama chef that they had in the White House, and then they had to live with him in Martha's Vineyard. Okay. And then this guy right here, her Ellen's DJ, dies at age 40. So I'm saying there's other things that we could talk about. I think the Epstein situation isn't one of them. I think it's a big distraction from something else or other things that are really happening. So that's pretty much where I'm at. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. There's quite a bit we want to get into. But first, shout out to you guys for being the best audience anywhere and my first sponsor, but also shout out to my regular sponsor. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. The link will always be in the box, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Please go to the merch website as well, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY.BLOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each long form video that I make on the front page of the website. And once you click on the article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you can find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. As I always say, if you ever think you're speaking to me on the interwebs, you're not, most likely, unless you email me specifically on my website, from my website, contact@anthonyblogan.com. The email is always on the website, so you don't got to remember. Just go to the contact page, emails right there, and you got me. And shout out to you guys who email me. I do read your emails, but if you flood me with stuff, I'm not going to be able to see it as well. But I do make an effort to read everything. However, if you're getting unsolicited emails, comments on the YouTube talking about, I could make you rich today, just send me the monies right now. It's not me, because, I don't talk like that. That's not my accent. That's just not how I sound. If the email looks sketchy, you get a 10,000-digit WhatsApp number talking about, okay, I sell hotcakes in Kiev, Ukraine at gmail.com. It's not me. Please don't get scammed in 2025. I hear too many stories of some of y'all getting scammed out of all your monies. We don't have time for that. All right, let's jump straight to the whole Epstein situation again. I ain't gonna show too much, but I'm gonna show some of that press conference today because that was crazy. We have here Thomas Massie, Republican in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, another Republican in Congress, with so-called Epstein survivors, so they say, because you could say anything. You know what? I can identify as whatever I want. I can identify as the first black man to cook chicken grease on a hot stove, but does that mean that that's actually me? No, it doesn't. I'm just saying whatever I want to say. Who's to say who these individuals are or they're not? I don't know. Maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe they're not. But my question is, why do we have Republican congressmen and women in front of anti-Trump signs tying him to Epstein? Make it make sense. Now, let's keep on going here. So here we have Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred, really? I mean, this is like seeing Benjamin Crump. Ambulance chaser at best. But let's watch some of this, shall we? But not too much, because automatically I don't want to really hear from her at all.
Give a big round of applause to all the survivors and all the victims and all the supporters today. I commend you, and it matters that you're here.
Hey, give it up for the Epstein survivors. Root. What is this? Arsenio? Okay, all right. I mean, just let her talk without too much interruption.
Let me just say, Your voice is important, but power only recognizes power. And for many years, we have not exercised our power in a way that helped win change. And you all and we all have been betrayed. I represent Alicia Arden and 26 other brave survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and some of Ghislaine Maxwell. And in 1997, my client Alicia Arden went to the police in Santa Monica and said that she had been the victim of sexually inappropriate conduct by Jeffrey Epstein when he invited her to be auditioning for Victoria's Secret catalog.
All right, man. You know what? Never mind. Victoria. All right. You see what I'm saying? Like, but you get the idea, because Gloria Allred is going to just wear me out, wear me clean, smooth out. I don't really want to. You see what's going on here. Okay. You see what's happening. Let's just move forward. So here they're talking about releasing their own list. Now, how do you just say I'm an Epstein victim and I have a list of names and I'm going to release it on my own? That's very irresponsible if that's allowed to be released and if it is reported on, because there's no reporting or evidence to back it up. Let's watch some of this.
And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that. Because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us. Thank you.
All right, there we go. So if these people, these random individuals, we don't really know who they are, really. Some of them may have a name, I don't know, but most of these people, you have no idea who they are. Would you trust them to release their own list of names? They could do, it's like, remember that whole thing with the T app a few days ago, whenever that was, where there was this app. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you a brief rundown of the T app. So there was this app that's been around for a long time, like years, but it was like on the down low. The point of the app, the purpose of it was for women to anonymously sign up, post pictures of men, and then ask, hey, does anybody know him? Is he somebody's boyfriend or husband? All this, that, and the third. And when the picture gets posted, women could anonymously say whatever they wanted to say about him. So women could just say that he beat me up, he stole from me. Maybe it's true, maybe it's false. You have no idea what's going on, but the app damaged God's reputation. And a lot of times it was just false allegations. It could be the same thing going on right here with a list that's just put out there, unverified and unvetted. That's a dangerous thing to actually do to people. Now, we got another survivor talking. Let's hear from this individual.
Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see every.
All right, there we go. So y'all buying that whole thing about the Trump connection? And again, to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, why would y'all be on the stage with these people saying this stuff that's totally unproven? If they're going to make these kind of allegations, they need to have some evidence. Like, you can't say stuff like that, damaging the president, and then you as a Republican are right there supporting him. That's just, I mean, I don't have any words really. Marjorie Taylor Greene, that might be a rap for you in your particular seat out here in Georgia. That might be a rap for you. So that's quite enough of the whole Epstein situation. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Have the events of today and I guess in recent days, weeks, have these events changed your mind about Epstein? I ain't gonna do no poll, because I'm gonna put pressure on you, because some of y'all be asking, can we get a third option? Nah, I'm just asking the question. Have any of your minds changed about the Epstein situation since this lawyer Allred stuff and some of the things from the recent days, weeks, months? Or is it the same? And if it has it changed more in favor of Trump telling the truth about it being a hoax, or more against him being truthful when he said it's a hoax? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. If she crying, she lying. That's hilarious, Vital Woman. If she crying, she lying. Brian Skinner says, yeah, them two lost credibility with me. They always protect DP. JV says, I don't believe liars, so no. Tina says, only the dumb ones got scammed. Netbone, Mick Grizzle, that's a funny name, says, they just had to say Trump. Of course, they had to say, that's the whole point. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying. This is the whole point, is to attack Trump. Because the left found something that they can join hands with some MAGAs, I guess you would say, and their crusade against President Trump and all of what he stands for. So they're going to just push all the chips on the table, probably putting hundreds of millions of dollars on this effort to change the minds of the American people. That's all that it is. They want to just make Americans shun Trump so they can succeed in the next election, the midterm 2026, and then 2028 in the primary. I've seen this play out so many times where they just do stuff like this little covert ops, but it's so non-covert because it's right in front of your face. But to normies who don't recognize what's happening, I think it's just not really a thing, or at best it's covert. When they find out what's happening, oh, that was right in front of our nose. For me, it was right in front of my face. I could see it nakedly. It's obvious what's going on. But it's my responsibility to explain to the general public what's happening so they're able to see what I see. All right, now, moving on from that, but before I do, I'm going to read some of your comments about the whole situation. Brian says, did Elon spend money on this trike? You never know with Elon. Elon might wake up one day and, be feeling a certain way. Elon is so smart, man. One of the smartest guys I've ever seen in my life. But with that intelligence, it's difficult to manage your human emotions. It's very difficult because you're so caught up in these ethereal ideas and concepts. It's like you got to come back to your human form and not be an alien anymore. It's like you have to practice being a human being when you're so smart like Elon Musk. So maybe one day he's in his feelings and doesn't know how to manage the feelings. So he does things like lash out at Trump. He's been doing very well lately. So shout out to Elon for keeping his emotions in check lately. But you never know. He might wake up one day and be feeling a little bit different and then go do something like that. So who knows? Was Diddy a distraction also in the ERN? Yes, Diddy was a distraction. The whole thing with Puff is like, all right, I know Puff has done some stuff, but all that about, Cassie and like the whole thing with Cassie, it was obvious what that was. It was, okay, I've been with you for 10 years and I've done whatever you asked me. I want to feel properly compensated. That's all that it was. It wasn't about sexual assault. It wasn't about the male prostitutes. It wasn't about the baby oil. It was about Cassie wanting some money. But once that was announced that she got some money, it opened a can of worms. Then it became ambulance chasers. Then it became people that just coming out of the woodwork, strangers, everybody trying to get a piece of the pie. Shannon Sharp, same thing. Okay, you see that he set up the lawsuit with the young lady. Now you got others talking about, oh, I want some money, and he did this, and he did that. Ambulance chasers, money chasers, all come out the woodwork when they sense a vulnerable person that has some money. It's like a Brinks truck crashing in a really dangerous area and money's everywhere. As soon as that truck crashes, they ain't worried about the driver. He could have just been gone through the windshield. They don't care. All they see is the cash on the ground from the crash. They're trying to capitalize off of a weakness or tragedy. Now, speaking about capitalizing off of weakness or tragedy, that was the COVID-19 scamdemic. Okay, making everybody get that shot or asking people to get the shot, sometimes making them get it to keep their employment. I knew from the very beginning it was going to be dangerous and it'd have side effects because it's a brand new thing. I ain't never going to put no brand new drug in my body. Like, I need you to test that out for a long time first before I put it in my body. Okay, but here is the Attorney General of Florida, pardon me, the Surgeon General of Florida, Joseph Ladapo, ending vaccine mandates in the good state of Florida. Okay, this guy right here, I want him to be in the U.S. government, D.C. I want you to be one of the head honchos. I want you to replace Anthony Fauci because Anthony Fauci was a nut. Anthony Fauci bungled so many infectious outbreaks. Back in the day, he bungled HIV/AIDS. That was a crazy mess back then. People were dying left and right. They had no idea about HIV back then, talking about you could be in the same house with a person and just catch it randomly. That's not how that works. Same thing they said about monkeypox. When monkeypox came out and they said it was a gay thing, I already knew what it was. So when they said, you got little kids and dogs and cats and whatnot that were getting it and they lived in the same house with a gay person, I put two and two together. Back during HIV, you had people that were in the same house with the gay person, probably little kids getting HIV. Oh, how are they getting it? Maybe it's just from indirect contact. Let's be serious about what's happening here. Let's not play that kind of game. But I digress. Let's hear from, again, this is Surgeon General of Florida. What's his name again? Joseph Ladapo, ending vaccine mandates in the great state of Florida. Check it out.
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Every last one of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body? Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? I don't have that right. Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God.
Let's pause. Now, let's be clear. Let's not because I know people are. They take every little thing you say and try to find a little avenue to get a little crack, it's like little rats trying to find a way into your house. They find the smallest of openings and let the whole family in. Okay, you got a dime size hole in your baseboard, and through that you got cats, rats, roaches, all of that coming through the little teeny little crack. So to just patch it up right quick, it does matter sometimes what kids put in their body. Like, I don't know, drugs. Okay, we ain't trying to say kids could be on heroin or nothing like this. Okay, also stuff like puberty blockers, hormone blockers, because it's poisonous. So I think as a government, we have a responsibility to restrict poison given to children. I'm saying if a parent poisoned their child and killed them, that wouldn't be permitted. But I digress.
I don't have that right. Government does not have that right. They want you to believe they have that right. And unfortunately, they've been successful.
All right, there we go. So again, that is Joseph Ladapo, the Surgeon General of Florida, ending all vaccine mandates in the great state of Florida. So that's a great thing. Shout out to him. Now, here's RFK talking about publishing all research data. So you can do your own research. Don't I always say this? I say, don't trust me. Don't trust them. Do your own research. I've been saying do your own research for years because, in my opinion, also in the opinion of RFK Jr., it's the American way. But let's watch.
We need to stop trusting the experts. We were told at the beginning of COVID, don't look at any data yourself. Don't do any investigation yourself. Just trust the experts. And trusting the experts is not a feature of science. It's not a feature of democracy. It's a feature of religion, and it's a feature of totalitarianism. In democracies, we have the obligation, and it's one of the burdens of citizenship, to do our own research and make our own determination. And we're going to give people gold standard science. We're going to publish our protocols in advance. We're going to tell people what we're doing. And then we're going to use data and we're going to publish the peer reviews, which is never published by CDC studies. We're going to publish anytime that we can the raw data, and then we're going to require replication of every study, which never happens at NIH now. That's something new that we're bringing in, is that every study will be replicated.
There we go. So shout out to, again, RFK Jr. being very transparent. I love the transparency. I like the ability to do my own research because, again, it's my body. So I want to make sure what I'm putting in my body is the correct thing. So let me just figure it out. You guys who are the experts can give recommendations, point me in the right direction. But ultimately, I think it's important to do my own research as well. All right. Now, did you guys see the Trinidad Agua strike? Okay. Did you guys see that? Now, there's no sound here, but you can see President Trump terminates 11 Trinidad Agua narco-terrorists. So you have the Venezuelan drug gang, prison gang, in a boat full of drugs, probably weapons as well, coming to the USA. Now, Trump sent an order to go ahead and just wipe them out. Boom, there you go. Wipe them on out. Now, I think it's a good thing because y'all know how I am about drugs. I think drugs are a scourge upon this country. And if you're able to send a message to narco-terrorists from bringing, you send a message and a warning against bringing drugs to the country, that's always a good thing because you're talking about how many deaths from opioids every year. Well, like 100,000. Like it's getting to the point where it's like the crack war. And the crack war time was bad because of the straight up violence in the streets from the rival gangs. I mean, it was little kids getting shot, old people getting shot. It was everybody getting shot, man. The crack war time was crazy. I lived through that. It was like a dark cloud had been placed upon a lot of the country, especially in the black areas for years. And that dark cloud hadn't really lifted. Baltimore, Maryland is an example of that. Before crack time, Baltimore had issues, but it was nowhere near what it is today. Back before crack time, a lot of black folks would live in them row houses and work at the docks and stuff like this. They did a lot of labor jobs. They were more working class. But then when crack hit, I mean, it was a nuclear bomb. So shout out to Trump for eliminating the drug traffickers. Now, some say this is extrajudicial. He's judge, jury, executioner, all this, that, and the third. Here is J.D. Vance talking about that particular issue. All right. Now, some say, oh, it's not a lot of drugs. It's a small boat. The point is, we're sending the message. If you do that, we're going to do that to you. So it's just a message that's being sent to the narco-terrorists. It's not about the particular cache of drugs they catch at one time. That's really irrelevant. The most important thing is sending a message to prevent future boats from going out in the water and trying to come to the USA. But here is J.D. Vance talking about the situation. Check it out.
On the Venezuela vessel strike, what legal authority were you guys working under, and will there be an after report on the strike?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be an after report. I mean, the legal authority, and I want to talk about these kids, is that there are people who are bringing literal terrorists who are bringing deadly drugs into our country, and the President of the United States ran on a promise of stopping this poison from coming into our country. Another question?
On the Venezuela.
There it is. There it is. So I like that's a great explanation, in my humble opinion. A great explanation. Okay. Now here's a video from. Oh, hold on. Before I get to that one, Joy Reid says she's terrified of J.D. Vance. And I think a lot of people are also afraid of J.D. Vance because they see him as Trump on steroids or a continuation of Trump, a younger Trump. Okay, a guy who could be around for a very long time. How old is JD Vance? Like 45 or something like this? Not even that old. JD Vance is 41. Just turned 41 in August. Okay, like 1 month ago, he turned 41. So he's very young. Because a lot of these guys in office, like, how old is Trump? Like almost 80? Hold on. How old is Trump? Trump is 79 years old. He'll be 80 in June of 2026. So a 41-year-old is much different. But, and I'm sorry for the freeze frame, but that's just your face. Let's hear from, what's her name? Jorvie, about JD Vance and how she's terrified of him.
This guy scares me more than Trump, to be honest, because I think Trump as being a self-absorbed goof.
Yeah, a useful idiot, I think.
Idiot whose narcissism and sort of almost self-loathing because he was never a legitimate billionaire. All he wants is to be a king and to be a billionaire. Being president gave him the kingdom and gave him billionaire status off of these Bitcoin schemes. He's living his best life now, and then he wants revenge against everyone who was ever mean to him. He's Charlie from the Star Trek episode. And that's all he is. He's a simple man with not a lot of complex views. Vance has complex views, and they are frightening. And this guy would implement Project 2025 on purpose, not Trump doing it by accident.
True.
This guy.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think? I like JD Vance. He is one of a few guys that I like. I like DeSantis. I think he's improved. DeSantis, Marco Rubio, JD Vance. I like those guys. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's cool too, but I'm not quite sure if we're ready for an Indian to be president. That might be a little much. Okay, we had a black guy, kind of barely a little bit, a African at best. That was a lot for the United States. Okay, but an Indian dude, that's going to be a stretch. Although I like Vivek, I like him a lot. I'm not sure that's going to work in the USA. This currency was built on black and white. The other stuff is just like kind of foreign to us. A lot of these voters ain't gonna know nothing about an Indian person. It's like, who is this dude? So, again, I like Vivek, but I'm not sure. I like JD Vance. I like DeSantis, and I like Marco Rubio. I like Marco a lot. I like him. I like Marco Rubio the best out of everybody, to be totally honest with you. I like him a whole lot. He's really, really good. And he looks white enough to make it make sense for Americans who are not familiar with Hispanics. And of course, we got a lot of Hispanics in the country. They're going to support him. A lot of conservative Hispanics, they'll definitely support him. Now, speaking about the whole drug thing, going back to that, because some are saying, oh, you shouldn't have blunt a little vessel, whatever. Go to different countries and see what their policy is on narco-trafficking, okay, and see how friendly and how many rights you have in that situation. Let's check this out. And this is the rapper Memphis Bleak. If you know, you know. Shout out to Jay-Z back in the day. I don't like Jay-Z. That's totally fine. But let's hear the message, shall we?
They got a sign in the airport of China trafficking any drugs in the ROC, the Republic of China, subject to death. And they got the man with the machine gun. And then they got the other guy dying like.
So they're telling you right in the airport, if you bring drugs into China, we will kill you. Right in the airport. And in case you don't read English or Chinese, they got a picture, an illustration, a guy with a machine gun. Everybody know what that is. That's universal. Everybody know what this is, right? It doesn't matter where you know what that is. If you on the airplane, you know what a gun is. And you know what that means. Somebody just got shot up and they dead. So don't bring drugs into China.
So when I get to China in the airport, I'm like, oh, they not playing here. Then Bali, I go to Bali. They like, yeah, Bleak, don't bring no weed, it's nothing. So we get to the airport, the customs agent guy, he like, yo, do you have any narcotics, anything illegal on you? No. He was like, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm positive. You can search everything, whatever you want to do. He was like, because if they catch anything on you here, hang. So I'm like, what? Oh, shit.
So look, In China, they will just shoot you, eliminate you. It's a wrap. In Bali, they will hang you, and they'll probably do it in public to warn others against doing what you did. So in America, it's a little bit different. In the case of the Venezuelan boat, not quite, but in America, it's a little bit different. Okay, if you come to the airport in America with some weed or something like that, you probably get locked up, but you might not get strung up. You might not get machine gunned. So it's better over here than it is over there. Moral of the story is, don't think we're too harsh on these criminals. We're actually pretty soft on criminals compared to the rest of the world. And the thing about China and Southeast Asia, any country, they realize what drugs can do to a nation. China almost fell because of the opiate crisis they had. The opium wars with the Kingdom of Great Britain, which was terrible. That was like Great Britain really, like, it was really bad what they did to China through that whole situation. But through that, they learned we cannot have drugs in our country. Now, they don't mind selling you fentanyl in America, of course. We know that. We know that. And that could be kind of a revenge for what happened to them back during the opium wars. Maybe so. And again, this is why it's good that Trump is eliminating the narco-traffickers, because we can't have that poison get into the country. We cannot let them wage a war on us and we don't fight back against. My humble opinion, because a lot of the precursors for the fentanyl, the Fetty Wap, as a cool kid say, come from China, but it gets finished by the narcos over here in North America, which would include Mexico, etc. Okay, Venezuela, South America, but close enough. Now, speaking about the border and the migrants and the drugs and whatnot, the co-founder of Airbnb, what's my man's name? Joe Gebbia, said that the border situation is what made him leave the Democratic Party. Like, that right there is what radicalized him. Let's watch this.
2021, the activity at the border caught my attention. And I just remember thinking, what's going on with this topic? It seems as if there's no border. And as it got worse that year, I felt like I needed to understand this problem more. So I reached out to my friends, largely on the Democratic side of the house, at all levels, from the highest level all the way down, and had conversations just trying to piece together, like, hey, what am I missing about this? Like, fill me in. I got some answers, but felt unfulfilled. And so, I've been lucky enough to call Josh Kushner, one of my close friends, for a long time. Through him, I've gotten to know Jared. And so I get on the phone with Jared. It's like, hey, can you help me fill in the gaps for me? Like, what am I missing here? Is this normal? Like, it seems there's no enforcement of our own border. Like, yep. Don't nations need borders to be a nation? Kind of. Yeah. And so he put me on this curriculum of just talking to experts in the field. And I remember, like, just being like, holy cow, this is crazy. Like, this is not right. This is a real problem. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be enforcing the laws of our country and our border. And so I think as I started to pull on that thread, I sort of, began to look at other topics and eventually came to the point where I don't think I can support a political party that wants to have an open border, that lets in, criminals and dangerous people into our country. That's not something I can get behind.
There you go. Again, Joe Gebbia, the co-founder of Airbnb, left the Democratic Party because of the whole Biden border kerfuffle. And I don't blame you, bro. I think that'd be a good enough reason to go ahead and do it. Obviously, many of us had long left before then, and many of us were not even on that side at all because we saw what it was from the very beginning. But that border situation is so crazy. Again, their objective, in my opinion, was to reduce inflation by importing a bunch of cheap labor, slave labor, really. We'll talk about that in a minute. That was their objective. But with that, maybe it didn't even work, and you got a bunch of other problems. It was just ultimately a thing that worked against us rather than working for us. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, what did I want to show? Let me see if I wanted to show this in order. Okay, I think I'm going to show this piece here. Yeah, I got to show this piece here because it kind of ties into everything. Okay, now I did a short on this, and shout out to you guys who are watching the short. Some of y'all prefer the long form. some like the shorts. So I do both. I try to give you enough of both. But Tony Evers, the Democratic governor of Wisconsin, did you guys see this? The Democratic governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers, said the quiet part out loud, like, yo, if Trump keeps deporting these illegal aliens, our economy is done. What that tells me is your economy is built on slave labor. These are the same arguments that were given against ending slavery back in the 1860s. It's the exact same thing. Before I go too far into that, I'm going to just let him speak, get the elephant out the room, say the quiet part out loud, then I'll give a little bit more response.
I believe that in Wisconsin, our ability to keep our undocumented people working like they are now at a really high numbers in the state of Wisconsin, if he takes that to a improper end, our economy will be gone.
There you go. So he's like, look, if Trump keeps deporting these illegal aliens, our economy is finished. He's saying it right there. The only reason why they brought the migrants in is due to slave labor. What he said right there was the exact same reasoning behind not wanting to end slavery. That's all it was about. People might get offended when I say the slavery comparison, when I make that comparison, but it's a proper comparison. The whole point economically of slavery was to have an underclass that does a bunch of cheap, undesirable labor that the upper crust of society doesn't want to do. The upper crust, the masters, wanted to be the managers. They sit back on their porch, watching their slaves work, drinking their sweet tea, okay? And that was the whole system. So then when the radical Republicans come around in the 1860s and say, hey, let's go ahead and free them slaves. Nah, but okay, if we free the slaves, then who's gonna pick the cotton? If we free the slaves, who will pick the cotton? Our entire economy will collapse. That's fine, because you have unpaid labor, slave labor. You have this permanent underclass of people. You can't educate them. You can't do anything. They're just here to work. That is inhumane. So you got to end that process. Same thing with this. You have these illegal aliens here because they're vulnerable people. They have no money. And you could pay them a low amount of money, next to nothing. Okay. You can have these migrants live in substandard ways, because they send that money back to their country of origin where it's worth a lot more. These guys, like I said, are framing houses for $10 an hour. Why would an American do that for that price? We'll do it, but not for so cheap. See, when they say Americans don't want to work, it's a complicated thing, because some Americans don't want to work. We've seen that. I've shown videos of people, black, white, male, female, whatever, young, old, talking about, oh, I don't want to work. I got 5 kids. If I go to work, who gonna take care of the kids? All this, that, and the third. It's like, well, look, bro, before you had all them kids, maybe that should have been a thought. Like, okay, somebody got to take care of them. What kind of job do I have that'll be able to bring income in? I can't just rely upon the state forever. Okay, so some Americans don't want to work. Although, obviously, it's incentivized by the government. I concede that point. However, a lot of Americans, I would say at least half of Americans, those vote Republican, want to work. We want to work. We don't mind getting our hands dirty. It's okay. Let me be 18 years old again, and you got jobs available in construction, paying good money, not illegal alien, going back Central America money, landscaping, please. I do that all day long. All day long, no problem. When I worked at Sam's Club, Garden Ridge, Old Country Buffet, I was doing a bunch of the big black guy stuff. Okay, load that truck. Hey, load this grand piano in somebody's van. I did all that, and it's fine. I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed being able to make money. I enjoyed being able to go out there and be productive. But they think we don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. The ones who want the illegal aliens don't want to work. That's why they say they make your beds, they wash your dishes, cook your food. It's like, what do y'all actually do? These people on the left don't want to do anything. All they want to do is just sit and manage, the same way it was during slavery. But rather than being on their front porch with their rocking chair, drinking their sweet tea, watching the slaves work, they could be in the cubicle just watching the minions. They could be on the job site, sitting in a nice F-150 Raptor, watching their illegal aliens work. That's what's going on, but I'm getting triggered, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So now, because we got all these illegal aliens and this attempt to spur a resurgence of slavery, since we got the Republicans back in, the actual anti-slavery party, now we got to get those slaves up off the plantation. Okay? Now we got to get the slaves up off the plantation. The Union soldiers are now ICE. That's what's going on. Okay, so now we got a job fair. We hiring ICE agents. You want to come on? You want to get some money? You want to be productive? You want to help society? Be an ICE agent and you'll be compensated very well. Let's watch.
We are at a recruitment fair for ICE. I want to talk to folks and see who wants to be a deportation officer and why.
I'm a college student, recently graduated. A former flight attendant.
I did 8 years in the Marine Corps.
Doors haven't even opened yet, and already there's a line of more than 100 people waiting to get in. ICE saw this event advertised on ICE's social media account. The benefits they're offering are pretty extensive. There's an up to $50,000 signing bonus.
Let's pay attention. These are the signing bonuses. These are the benefits you get from being an ICE agent. Let's pay close attention.
$60,000 in student debt reduction, up to 25% overtime rate. The Trump administration is adding tens of billions of dollars to the budget and is trying to make immigration enforcement really the center of law enforcement in this country right now. This is the East Sports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's usually a space for gamers. Today, ICE is hiring for a variety of different positions. The lines have been the longest for deportation officers. That has the lowest bar to entry. College degree is not necessarily required, and ICE is trying to hire 10,000 deportation officers. The signage behind me says, "Defend the homeland." What were the attractions of working for ICE?
I'm very patriotic.
You know, guarding America, guarding the homeland.
When I saw Uncle Sam pointing that finger, just had it in my heart. And you're thinking, look at this guy, he's an immigrant. He wants to become a deportation officer. Doesn't make any sense to you, makes 100% sense to me.
Let's pause. A lot of legal immigrants I know feel the exact same way I feel. They feel the exact same way we all feel about the illegal aliens. There's a difference. The left will say, you guys on the right hate immigrants. No, we don't. Many of us are immigrants. The issue is people that come here legally versus that come here, the ones that come here illegally. That's the key difference. That man right here, I'm sure he's here legally. You got all your stuff together. That is the difference. If you don't want to come legally, that's your fault. If I break the law in this country, I'm held accountable. And it's okay. It's totally fine because I got to follow the law as an American citizen. Anyone here must follow our laws. So if I'm held accountable and it's okay, then so can you if you're here illegally. You can't have this protected status and not be held accountable when you break the law because you're a migrant or whatever you want to call yourself.
We're seeing a bit of the speed and scale that the Trump administration is trying to move at. They're moving people in and out assembly line style. They're offering drug testing on site, and they're even saying that you could walk out of here with a tentative offer letter to start a new job at ICE.
I was able to get an offer today. I accepted, and then I went and did all my process, my fingerprinting and my drug testing. Background check is next, and then, of course, training.
There's a lot of criticism of ICE and its tactics in enforcing immigration law. You can hear the protesters behind me shouting at applicants as they walk in, calling them Nazis and fascists, and even identifying them by name. They're looking up people's license plate numbers. Your license plates are being written down. So are you worried about being called a Nazi?
You know, I don't mind risking my freedom to safeguard yours.
I love it. I love that attitude right there. I don't mind risking my freedom, risking my safety to safeguard you, to protect your freedom, your safety. That's a great thing. So shout out to the new ICE agents, new potential ICE agents at that job fair in Arlington, Texas, out there. What's that? Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, speaking about Texas, their neighboring state, Louisiana, is going to build a brand new alligator Alcatraz style facility in the husk of what was a very dangerous prison called Angola. All right, let's watch some of this.
The state of Louisiana will also double down as an ICE detention facility to hold the worst of the worst. That's a quote. Brooke Taylor live with a preview of the soon-to-be-announced Louisiana lockup in Angola, Louisiana. Good morning there, Brooke.
Hi, Bill. Yeah, we are right outside the notorious Angola prison here in Louisiana. A section of this prison is going to be turned into an ICE detention facility, and it's going to be called Louisiana Lockup. Now, Fox is the first to report that 51 illegal migrants have already been moved here. Louisiana Lockup is going to hold up to 416 beds. The Department of Homeland Security says they've partnered with the state of Louisiana. They are using this unused section of the prison to detain and deport some of the worst illegal migrants. Now, Angola is the largest maximum security prison in the country. It was once named the bloodiest prison in the South for its harsh conditions in the 1960s. Louisiana Lockup is funded by the Big Beautiful Bill, which gave ICE an additional 80,000 detention beds to help ramp up deportations. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem sent us this statement, quote, "Thank you to Governor Landry for his partnership to help remove the worst of the worst out of our country. If you are in America illegally, you could find yourself in Seacot, Cornhusker Clink, Speedway Slammer, or Louisiana Lockup. Avoid arrest and self-deport now using the CBP Home app."
Right on. It's like, look, you don't have to go to these places because we gave you plenty warning. We gave you plenty warning before we got back in office. We told you we're coming for the illegal aliens, starting with the criminal aliens. And if you get caught slipping on the highway with no license, you might have to go to the penitentiary as well. It is what it is. We're giving you fair warning. Get your affairs in order and go back to your home country or deal with the consequences. Before you go to, what they say that the Cornhusker Clink, that's a funny one. The Cornhusker Clink, Louisiana Lockup, Speedway Slammer, CCAP. Before you go there, you're given an option. Okay, you can fight this, but you got to go to the center first, like the Louisiana Lockup, or we'll give you a ride back home for free. You be in first class, going front of the, you be like, it'd be the best flight you ever had. It'd be much easier than your journey to get here. So what you want to do? Oh, I'm going to fight. All right. Well, Cornhusker Clink it is. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. You try to escape, it's going to be rows of corn, nothing but corn. You're going to be in Iowa somewhere, and it ain't going to be no town for 100 miles. It's going to be 100 miles of corn. You're not going to know what's going on. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Let's keep on going here. Now, speaking about Kristi Noem, she's announcing that they're going to go to Chicago with ICE and do a big raid there. Shout out to my Chicago viewers or anyone in the Chicagoland area. This should be very, very good news. Okay, but maybe some of them liberals in Chicago don't want to do anything but just sit there and watch people work. So it might be bad news for them. Hey, newsflash to all those who don't want to do anything. Able-bodied people, of age, all you want to do is sit around and just do nothing. You got to go to work.
We've already had ongoing operations with ICE in Chicago and throughout Illinois and other states, making sure that we're upholding our laws. But we do intend to add more resources to those operations. I won't disclose the details because they are law enforcement and investigative folks that are on the ground there, and I want to make sure we keep their security our number one priority. But we will continue to go after the worst of the worst across the country, like President Trump has told us to do, focusing on those that are perpetuating murder and rape and trafficking of drugs and humans across our country, knowing that every single citizen deserves to be safe. We've already had ongoing operations.
There we go. So, hey, Kristi Noem, I like her a lot too. Hopefully she stays in the federal government for quite a while. Yeah, she serves a good purpose. She has a good role here. Now, let's go to Chicago. Here is the former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, talking about Trump using the guard and whatnot coming to Chicago. Again, this is the former mayor of Chicago, and she was succeeded by Mayor Mohawk, Mr. Brandon Johnson. But let's watch some of this.
If he comes to Chicago, he's going to be in court, and he's going to be sued by the state. He's going to be.
Man, look, everybody do that, man. Everybody try to sue Trump. I mean, at this point, it's just, I'm going to take you to court. Okay, that's fine. I keep beating these cases. Okay, you've not beat. Okay, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm trying to be nice.
Be sued by the city, and I believe that there will be private interests that also sue him. This is not about violent crime, and I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis and his attempt to provoke people in Chicago is legitimate exercise of power. It is not. If he comes to Chicago.
All right, there we go. So, if I'm Trump, I'm not very intimidated by that. Oh, you're gonna go to court? Okay. What's new? That's all they got is a court action, abusing the court system, trying to drain resources, trying to get me out of the way. What else are they going to do? All right. So here we have J.B. Pritzker talking after the Labor Day weekend festivities with 54 shot and 7 deceased in Chicago. And I saw a higher number than that, like 61 shot and over 10 killed. But the official number I saw was 54 and 750. 54 people shot, 7 killed over Labor Day weekend in Chicago. Okay. And again, this is the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker.
You're going to hear people, especially this past weekend, 54 shot, 7 dead. Yeah. They're going to say the city's not safe. Would you ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after, 9 o'clock at night even to come down to the city from O'Hare?
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
Look, at the end of the day, red states are not as dangerous as your Chicago, Illinois is. And comparing the whole state to a city is crazy, but whatever, we'll play along. Red states are not as dangerous as your Chicago is. Now, in the nice areas of Chicago, it's beautiful. In the bad areas, it's not beautiful. But it's a system y'all kind of set up to have them out there. You pretty much ignore them. Any kind of crime is like whatever. Black folks, so what, man? But the problem is that crime spills over into your precious downtown with these teen takeovers and stuff like that. And y'all don't want to really deal with the crime appropriately. You guys want to prevent the crime in their neighborhoods because it's just over there. But then when it impacts you in your neighborhoods, in the north and in downtown, now it's a problem all of a sudden, but you don't really want to address it because you said from the beginning there was no crime. Also, are you on Ozempic? Because you appear to be slimmer, but you're not slimmer. Like you have less muscle tone, which is dangerous. Is it worth it to lose fat? And is it worth it to lose muscle and fat simultaneously to lose weight? I think not, but I digress. I think not. I think Ozempic is very dangerous for you. Okay. And speaking about Ozempic, I think Mayor Mohawk might be on it too. No. Look, I don't want y'all to be on these drugs because they are dangerous. You heard it here first. The same way I told you that the vaccine was dangerous and I was right about that. And we all said that. Well, most of us said it. Same thing with Ozempic. Oh, GOP1, whatever y'all want to call it. Same thing. Let's watch.
No troops in Chicago. No troops in Chicago.
Because he's like fat up here and his stomach, but it's like slim at the same time. It's like a smaller version of the same fat guy.
No troops in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. Invest in Chicago. God bless you. Love you all. No troops.
All right, there we go. So, invest in Chicago. No troops in Chicago. All righty, there we go. A good way for Chicago to get some money, because I heard right there everyone wants some money. A good way for Chicago to free up some money is to get rid of the migrants, because they cost your city billions upon billions of dollars, didn't they? Or at least millions upon, at least in the high millions, they cost your city. And now the taxpayer got to foot the bill for it. So if you want to invest in Chicago, how about divesting away from the illegal aliens? That's a good way to start, because you can free up some money free up the monies you spent on the illegal aliens. All right, let's keep going here. Now, I'm going to show you this one video from my compilation of 22 minutes of Black Chicago residents supporting President Trump's takeover. I'm going to show you this. This right here. The first one sums it up. Let's watch some of this if you haven't seen it.
Liberals in Chicago have the privilege of being able to say that we don't need the National Guard here in Chicago. They have the privilege of saying that because they keep themselves in their careful bubbles of Lincoln Park, Wicker Park. They stay up in some of the northern areas and they go and frolic at the beach, playing volleyball and pickleball and tennis in these areas where it's clean. There's minimal crime. Of course you feel like we don't need the National Guard because you've never stepped foot on the actual south and west side. Elitist progressives and leftist white Chicagoans have the privilege of not needing the National Guard in order to feel safe in their communities. They walk out their door in the morning with their babies to go get a quick coffee and their kid on a scooter with a helmet. That's privilege. That's the same privilege that you claim you want to be a part of unpacking and getting away.
Nah. They don't want to really unpack that and get away from it. They just want to say they want to unpack it in public to feel less guilty about their position of privilege. That's all that it is to it. And the same thing with this whole thing about not wanting the guard, because they don't want to admit that there's a problem in the black area because they don't want to be seen as racist. It's all about appearance. It's like what China does with the whole face culture. Everything's about face and appearance and how they look to the general public rather than things that actually work in the real world. And the powers that be want the whole thing to continue to keep that permanent underclass there to be the labor force of the city. And since there's too much violence and killing over there in that part of the city, they got to bring in the migrants to live right in them same areas and come work for a lower amount of money. But I digress.
It's the yuppie white women in Chicago who want to scream about Trump being fascist, yet they keep themselves carefully, safely tucked away in Lincoln Park. Come to Woodlawn. And not the cute part. No, go past 63rd. Come to Auburn Gresham. Chatham. Inglewood.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to go out there to those areas. You want to stay out north, up north. Okay. You want to be up there in them areas. I forget what's the name of that town up there? Evanston, Illinois, stuff like. You want to be up there. You don't want to be down south in the south suburbs. Okay. You don't want to be in that particular part of the area. And you know what's funny about them kind of white liberals out there in Chicago, up north, Evanston and stuff like that? Evanston had passed a bill for reparations. It's like, in Evanston, really, reparations? Why don't you go a little bit further south and do something out there? Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Okay. So that just tells me that all this talk about trying to help and being, we're trying to help the poor black people. It's just BS. It's just talk, which is why I said on Jubilee that there's no point in having the talk or conversation or any kind of discussion about reparations because they're never going to happen. They'll say they're going to do it and never do anything because they want to look a certain way. Again, it's that face culture. So Don Lemon went to the, I don't know where he's at. Might be at somewhere in DC, but Don Lemon went to DC trying to talk to the National Guard. And they did not want to talk to him. And I'm glad that the Guard are trained like this to not talk to these provocateurs, these hacks, or whatever. They're there to do their job, and that's it. I would never interview a National Guard guy on duty or even try because I know whatever they say will get them in trouble. So let them do their job and leave them alone. But let's watch this.
Hi, guys. How are you? Hey, how are you? How do you feel being here? Great question. To the state PAO's office. Thank you. That's it? You guys aren't talking? Yeah, state PO, sir. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you very much. Hi, guys.
So look, okay, you want to interview me? How you feel being here? All right, no, check it out. State PO's office. Talk to them. I don't got nothing for you. That is the way they handle it. So shout out to the training that the guard get to not let these people talk to them. And I'm sure they probably get these reporter guys that talk to them or try to talk to them all day, every day. All day, every day. Now, we ain't gonna say nothing. Good for them. Don't say a word. Okay. Now, let's go to Minneapolis, aka Somalia. Hey, I don't know where is it, Somalia or Minneapolis. Now, this is the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry. Now, Jacob, you need to be a good leader, a good manager, and go to the state house and just do that. All this trying to pander, being out there doing little dances, don't nobody got no time for that, bro. You need to govern, and this right here is not governing, in my humble opinion. Check it out. So look, shaking hands, kissing babies is a good thing for a mayor to do. All that dancing and stuff, and I would never. Listen, if I ever become a leader, like a mayor, governor, or something like that, I ain't doing none of that. Okay, I'm straight about that business. I'll shake hands, all that, but all that trying to do what they do, I'm good. Don't worry about it. All that, we're not doing that. Not in the least bit. Okay, now, Tucker had a guest on talking about the immigration scams that happen with people with gas stations and whatnot. You get these migrants that come in, have these businesses, and a lot of times it's a scam. Let's watch.
There's a criminal scam. I don't think it's just in the state of Maine. I think it's probably all throughout. I know it's in New Hampshire as well, and Vermont. What is this scam?
Well, they're certainly not making money off the hotels that they operate in the general stores. If you look at a town like Lincoln, Maine, something similar has happened where one family from away, from out of state, has come in and purchased competing rival gas stations. But there's one gas station that's still owned by a local. And so naturally, the people who know the guy who owns the store and don't know the guy who owns the other stores will go and patronize the guy that they still know. So as business has declined to these other general stores, somehow they're still thriving. And initially their employees are locals and Mainers, but then eventually there's a new class of employees who are brought in very likely on visas, who are also from away. So I think that if you look at some of the...
From India.
Yeah. I think that if you look at some of the cases that have been filed, even under the Biden administration, against operations that look a lot like what's happening in Maine, they're immigration scams. They're using these businesses as a pretext to get SBA loans and also to get access to visa programs so that they can sell legal entry into the country to people back in.
So they're selling those visas.
To be clear, I don't have proof that that's happening in Lincoln or Dexter, but there are indictments there's one I know of very well in Texas where that's exactly what was happening.
So we see what's happening right there is you got a lot of scams happening with the visa program, and a lot of these establishments that they build, they are employing themselves. So a lot of these restaurants, gas stations, whatever, they started and then they employ themselves. So what does that mean for you as an American? See, that's fewer jobs available for you. And it's also your taxpayer money being manipulated, being stolen out of your pocket. So good thing, bad thing, I think is a bad thing. And it's further proof that we need to really rehaul this whole system, rehaul the whole thing, especially if you have straight up illegal aliens here. Oh yeah, nah. Hey, let's go to the Getty Mart right quick. Let's go to the Getty Mart, the Quickie Mart or whatever, and see what's really going on. All right, now, speaking about benefits, because I said in one of my videos, I think I'm gonna put it out today, about the migrants getting benefits. I'm talking about government assistance. Migrants getting government assistance. We covered the whole thing in Springfield, Ohio, where they were getting those magic debit cards that never ran out. They can just go and buy whatever they wanted, any kind of food, and it was fine. They might have 5-10 grand on that magic debit card that never ran out that came straight from the government. But American citizens don't have that ability. So let's make it clear. The migrants often send money that they make in America back home to the country of origin, like Haiti, where it's worth a lot more than it is in the USA. They send their money back home, siphoning wealth from our country and moving it away. Then they also get financial benefits from the taxpayers, which is not them, it's us. So they siphon the money from the job. They siphon the money from us, the taxpayer, and they could do whatever they want. They're not following any kind of rules. They're on other government assistance programs, Section 8, welfare, like food stamps, etc. It's a mess, which is why, again, this was the biggest issue of the election. Now, here my man is right here talking about the Section 8 program that migrants are often on. Check it out.
This is major breaking news. Donald Trump has advised the housing department, the U.S. housing department, which is known as HUD, H-U-D, who's in charge of Section 8 households, to now perform a full-fledged audit of all residents in the United States for citizenship and will begin evicting families that are mixed status. For example, if you are a parent who is an illegal immigrant, but you receive Section 8 through your children for housing, you can be evicted. This is part of an audit Donald Trump has instructed to Scott Turner. This would mean that 2.3 million families are at risk of being evicted if one or more family members do not have citizenship in that household. Please share this. You can follow for more news updates, but you don't have to.
There we go. So that is a thing that can happen. You have people in the household, some may be legal and some are illegal, but no one in the household should be there if they're illegal, first of all, at all, because they're here illegally, but they most certainly shouldn't be benefiting from the American taxpayer when they are here. You see what I'm saying? It's bad enough you're here illegally, but you also benefit from the taxpayer by living in the home that is funded by the federal government through Section 8. Terrible. But let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got some more here. Now, I don't want to play that. Okay, here's a funny one. This person is listing some things that whites say without realizing they're being racist. I wanna just play this, and I have something to say at the end of it.
Hi, my name.
All right, let's just watch. All right, there we go, and let's let it roll.
Hi, my name's Kylie, and here are some things that white people say without realizing they're being racist. I moved a lot growing up. Sometimes I was in rural, homogenous white areas, and other times it was diverse urban areas. But regardless, here are some things that I've heard. Number one, coming in hot, we have when a white person is telling a story and they mention the race of the person for no reason. That waitress, and then mention how she was Hispanic as if that somehow has something to do with her character. Number two, telling a story about someone from a different race and then doing an accent to make the story come to life. Number three, saying the N-word in rap music or other songs because it's going too fast to skip it. Number four, thinking that their lack of skill when it comes to sports is because they're white and not because, in fact, they are unathletic. Yes, they have actually said this. I've had a white boy tell me he would have gone to the NBA if he was black. Number five, assuming that hearing people in public speaking a different language means they are talking badly about you. Specifically, nail techs or waitstaff, because white people think everything is about them. Like for part two.
Okay, you know what? Elephant in the room. All those things black folks do as well. We do all of that. Okay, y'all know me with the accents. I love making the accents. I try to work on my accents. I try to work on it. I want to work on my Indian accent. Hello, come again. I want to get a good Indian accent. I want to get a good Eastern European. If it dies, he dies. I want to get some really good accents from my storytelling. Y'all know I love the accents. The African one, my favorite. Oh, my brother. I love it. And then I do mention the race of a person when the story is being told because sometimes it matters. Sometimes it matters. Okay? I went to a restaurant and I had a 75-year-old black lady to be my waitress. You kind of understand how the service was. hey sugar, hey baby, all of that. You know what I mean? So the N-word, I mean, come on. It's just music. It ain't really no, you know what I mean? So all of what she said right there, black folks say. Okay, it's not really a big thing. Oh, the nail tech. The nail tech is hilarious. I've been to a Viet spot before. All of that. When they get real loud, when they doing your feet or something, or they got a certain tone, what's going on? When they say all that, you already know what time it is. It's like your feet are messed up. Something's wrong with your foot. What's going on? When they get to be grunting like that, you already know what it is. It's not that it's a different language. It's that I can tell that they're saying something about me. And it's okay. It's fine. It's not no big deal. But these are just things that human beings, regardless of race, do. And I would venture out to say that it's not just blacks or whites. It's human beings in general do the exact same thing. So yeah, it's not a white thing. It's just a human being thing. And it's okay. It's fine. So yeah, shout out to everybody out there who said or who does all those things on that list. Shout out to you guys. And y'all know I'm telling them 100% truth about them accents in the nail shop. It go from to y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we got some more white liberal shenanigans. There's an event at a church, I believe, some kind of Christian event in Seattle, Washington. The liberals showed up and acted the fool. Check it out.
These are grown-ass people in Seattle. They're here opposing a Christian concert.
Okay, so the purpose of these adults being out here in Seattle playing kazoos, okay? They're playing kazoos to try and drown out the Christian concert to quote unquote fight fascism. What are we talking about? So Christianity is all of a sudden fascism? Is it because they're white? Newsflash to all those out there playing the kazoo. You guys are white as well. It's totally fine. You should just join them. Okay, just join them on stage and get delivered because y'all need Jesus in your life anyway. Hey, join them on stage and put the kazoo down. That'll be what I say. So shout out to everybody who enjoys the kazoo and not in the way when they're trying to protest a Christian concert. I've not seen the kazoo since I've been like 5 years old. I did not know that they still made those. Like, where you like, you like, I know for sure you ain't go to Walmart or Target and just get a kazoo. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get a dozen eggs. I'm gonna get some water, paper towel, toilet paper, and a kazoo. You did not do that. You probably went on Amazon or Temu or something like that and got that. Anyway, shout out to them out there in Seattle, Washington. See, that's why I could not live in a place like Seattle or DC Metro. I'm not trying to be minding my business right down the street and I hear do. I don't want to hear that, man. It's just not my thing. Do you? All right. So we got a street interview from Turning Point USA. Shout out to them. Hey, shout out to Charlie, man. Charlie Kirk. I knew from the beginning when I met Charlie Kirk that he was going to just go on and do whatever he wanted to do. Really, really, really smart guy. Good guy. Again, shout out to Charlie Kirk with Turning Point USA. But we got a street interview. Do you believe that America is the best country? Now, y'all know me. I'm Captain America. I got the flags. Hey, man, if I had the courage, I would get the American flag tattooed right across my face. That's how much of a patriot I am. But let's see how the general public, or at least this person from the general public, responds to that question. Check it out.
Do you believe America is the best country in the world?
I believe that America should be burned down to the ground and started over from scratch like their forefathers intended.
What countries would you say are better than America right now?
I would say a lot of countries in Africa, because if you think about it, they're back to their hunter nature gathering roots, and it's like, that's just so peaceful. Ignorance is bliss.
Do you
Hey, the black people, they back to their hunting gathering nature. Ignorance is bliss. Okay, Mr. White Liberal, thank you. Hey, you know what? Hey, that right there, I love it, bro. You have on a dog collar, I guess, with some kind of bone that identifies you. You're wearing a paper dog bone. So what are we doing? Is this your nature? Is this your nature? I don't really know. But yeah, some parts of Africa are like that. But you might be kind of sad when you go to Africa and you land at the airport and it's like a city right there. It's like, okay, where's all the butt naked Africans I saw on National Geographic? Well, you're in Lagos, Nigeria. You're not really going to see nobody blowing a spear in your hind parts and knocking you out. You know what I'm saying? And nobody gonna be riding a leopard. Hey, when you get off that once you get off that plane in Kampala, Uganda, ain't gonna be nobody just riding a elephant through the city. Okay, you're not gonna see a butt naked village right there at the airport. It's just not happening. You got rural, far away areas where you got that going on, and you also have cities. And you know what? I know a lot of Africans that tell me that they get hit with this. When they tell a guy like this is from Africa, they always get this kind of stuff. They'll ask them, "Oh, were you a hunter gatherer? Did you have a pet lion in your backyard?" That's what they say. So yeah, shout out to the American education system. Hey, rather than focusing on LGBTQ elemental P, which is what he majored in, hey, this man right here majored in LGBTism. Rather than doing that, let's get a teach bit education. Just a teach bit. A dog bone. What does it say right there? Loshi? I don't know what that says on this.
Back Hunter.
Oh, Joshi. All right, Joshi. Hey, Joshi, I appreciate your comments. All right. So yeah, shout out to Joshi and his cute little dog bone. Oh my goodness. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. We got some more from Charlie. Let's see what he says here. Let's see what's going on here.
Feel safe in California walking the streets at night in Los Angeles as a woman?
It depends which area.
How about right near the downtown convention center?
Not necessarily, no.
So remember, our goal is a safe society. So just stricter gun laws does not always equal a safer society. That's just number one.
Yeah,
and
that's what I said. That's why I said that. I know that mental health is a big issue.
Huge.
But I just, for instance, me, I have a 10-year-old little sister, and every day me and my parents stress about sending her to school for what could happen to her. So
it's a real question. Let me ask you, does that school have an armed guard?
I'm not entirely
That's
sure.
why you're stressing.
That's a fair point.
Why do we protect our banks, our airports, and our sports stadiums with people with guns, but not our schools?
I think that that's a fair point, and that...
And I'm not discounting, the background check thing, but it's incredible moral perversion. You can't get in a Dodger Stadium without seeing 50 cop cars and people with guns everywhere. You can't go to LAX without going through basically a demilitarized zone. But you could go into a local Long Beach elementary school, and we decide to not protect our kids, so we protect our airplanes and our sports teams, but we don't protect our own children. And so you care about protecting children. I think that we should basically lock down these schools. People say, oh, I don't want our schools to be militarized. Well, then you don't want to protect our kids? You don't think you want your money to be protected at your bank? You want the payday lender to be protected, but you don't want your own children to be protected. So that's my number one solution, all that. And then I would end on to it. Listen, a lot of mental health problems. I have a different view. I think gun ownership is a right, not a privilege. And I don't think the government should get in the way of our right to be able to own firearms.
So
there we go. So again, shout out Charlie. Shout out Charlie. There might have been a little bit more. Let me go ahead and play the rest.
What do you think that do you think that the government should get involved in like adding armed guards to schools, or
Yes.
why isn't this more talked about? Because I feel like
in other states it is. Gavin Newsom would refuse to do this, of course. But in other states, after big school shootings, they have police officers parked outside. And in fact, school resource officers with guns have shown to prevent school shootings, limit school shootings, or even intervene before the school shooting happens.
Right on. So that's the way it works. I think I played that last time, but like I was saying last time, you got to have security, because if you have no security at your school, I mean, you're vulnerable. You're totally wide open. All righty. Now, this video is one that I can relate to. Okay, it's one that I can relate to, and I think that she got to just tighten up and toughen up. Got to toughen up. Let's watch some of this.
I run a dog grooming business in a very small town in Tennessee. And I have lost so many clients and friends over speaking out. And it's so sad, because these people, on one hand, will tell you how much they love you, how much their dog loves you. Thank you so much for loving my baby, being so good to my baby. You're the absolute best. We would never take our dog anywhere else. And then they see my posts on Facebook calling out Trump and everybody else around him and that supports him. And then all of a sudden I'm the bad guy and they don't want to bring their dogs to me anymore. So I'm at a point now where I have a very small group of friends here in Tennessee. I can't sit back and be with someone that isn't willing to fight the good fight. And I won't sit here and let these people in my town take away everything I have worked for because they think Trump is God.
Let's pause right there. Now, look, I too am self-employed, been that way for about 20 years. When I had my graphic design business, I had a lot of long-term clients, like 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, a lot of long-term clients. When I started to be more vocal about being conservative, a lot of them all of a sudden stopped calling me. I lost friends, family, business, money, all of that over being conservative back in like 2014, 2015. Okay. People did not like it, but I had to expect that. And it's okay. I can't make people come to me and do business. I can't make them do that. If they think my political point of view is enough to sever ties, to not give me any more money, then so be it. And I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. Whenever you go public with an opinion like that, with politics, religion, whatever it is, whenever you do that and you want to stand on it, well, take whatever come with it. Take whatever come with it. And that goes for a liberal doing it, a conservative doing it, or whoever. Be prepared to stand up what you believe in and take whatever hit come with it. That's just life. So it is what it is. I can relate to her and what she's going through, but all I can tell her is, hey, tighten up, toughen up. That's just life. Live with it, deal with it. If you're not making enough money in your town, go somewhere else and see if you can make it over there. That's what I would say. So yeah, shout out to her. You guys are crazy. You guys are always noticing stuff about people, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Let's keep on going here. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to UK right quick. UK dealing with the migrant crisis too. Europe in general dealing with the migrant crisis because they have a demographic problem. They're not making enough babies, so they bringing in the migrants to make up for it. So now you got guys who are being asked to house migrants in their Airbnbs, hotels, whatever it is. Sound familiar? Let's watch.
They want me to house illegal immigrants in my 26-bedroom hotel here in Cambridge. I was offered by a company that offered to pay me £35,000 per month for almost 7 years. That's a lot of money.
So that kind of sounds like someone who was a slaver. Hey, you know what? I got these slaves. I'll pay you some money. And then the reason I'm paying the money, because I get a little piece of the action from whatever revenue they bring in. I get a piece of the action. It might be government funding. It could be from their own wages, whatever it is. I give you a piece. But let's continue.
A lot of money. And they were going to use it to house illegal immigrants. And I said, no. Now, commercially, does it make sense? Well, I don't care if I make more money or less money. I want to run it as a hotel. On principle, that's what I decided. Sometimes you have to stick to your principles and put your values over money. They want me.
Now, my question would be, if you're getting paid $35,000 a month, what happens if they destroy your hotel? Because you saw that happen in New York City with the Roosevelt Hotel right there in Manhattan, right by Times Square. So you could get that $35,000, but you got a bunch of illegal aliens or migrants, whatever you want to call it. You're further aiding in the destruction of your own country, and they probably destroy your hotel in the process. And it doesn't appear to be the newest place in the world, okay? It doesn't appear to be in terrible shape, but it doesn't look like it's brand new. It's probably been around for a very long time. The migrants come in there and tear that hotel from the top to the bottom, from the left to the right. It'd be a mess. They would trash it. That's right, Miss Adams. They trash it. So just want to share for that, aside from the moral part, the legal part, the common sense part, I don't want them to destroy my property, which is what would happen if you have all the migrants in there. Now, you got a lot of the people in UK talking about the issue of the migrant crisis, not just UK, but France, all over the place, Europe, saying that they got a migrant crisis. And the issue, again, is there's not enough Europeans to replace the Europeans who came before them. And a lot of the Europeans are being taught the Islam. So the Christianity that held Europe together, that's starting to go away.
Abdul Shakur, I'm British, I've been Muslim for a week. Alhamdulillah.
My name's Abdul Rahim, I've been Muslim for 3 years. Alhamdulillah.
Hello, my name's James, I'm British and I'm Muslim for 6 months. Alhamdulillah.
My name's Abdullah, I've been Muslim for 10 years and I'm British. Alhamdulillah.
My name's Zach.
So there you go. I mean, there's a lot of complaints about guys from Pakistan coming in and ruining the culture. There's a lot of complaints. There's quite a few complaints about the Muslims coming in, but you have the Europeans themselves leaning into Islam. And I think the reason is because it's too much peace going on. It's too much peace. It's easy to lean into this religion because it is all about strength for the man. So it's easy for them to kind of get brainwashed into it. Christianity's kind of weak. They having drag queen story time. So in the moment where you have a weak religion, a weak main dominant religion, the thing your whole country was built on, Church of England, all that kind of stuff, the monarchy, all of that was Christianity. When that's weak, here comes Islam, and now you become Afghanistan. And Europe will no longer be Europe. It won't be Europe anymore. Now you got some people trying to hang on to the Christianity in Britain and UK, and God bless them. So you have a Christian concert in London. Hopefully there's no kazoos anywhere in the United Kingdom, but let's watch some of this. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. They're still hanging on. They've not given up yet. Although you got a low birth rate. It's like 1.3, 1.4 over Europe on average. They're not giving up. So that's a good sign. That is a good sign. I like to see it. And I'm not here to say that Christianity better than Islam. Some of y'all might say that, and that's fine. I think that for Europeans, they need Christianity. Without Christianity, Europeans are Middle Easterns. So you see what I'm saying? In order to keep the European civilization going, they need Christianity to be the dominant force. If it's not, then there's no more Europe. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's stay overseas for a while. Let's go to New Zealand, or that particular part of the world, the land down under. So we have a disabled they them who wants to start a queer commune. All right, let's hear from this individual, shall we?
How old are you and how much do you have in savings?
I'm 25. I have 40 grand. I recently got a ACC payout. I've been disabled for a while and I haven't been able to work. And they eventually paid me out. All my money is going to have a commune, a little queer commune in New Zealand if you want to join. 40 grand to go to land. Thank you, government.
How old are you?
Okay, so she got a payout. I'm not quite sure what I'm not sure what the ACC means. Some disability payout. She got $40,000 and now she wants to go start a queer commune in New Zealand. How do you guys think that's going to go? Is it going to be a success? Is it going to be a great thing, or maybe not? What do you think a queer commune looks like? I think, first of all, the smell going to be crazy, but beyond that, not very much productivity. But yeah, shout out to them. Hopefully something works out. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but we'll see. We shall see. Okay, so we got President Trump addressing the rumor. Did you guys see the rumor about Trump had died? Did y'all hear that? So here Trump is addressing it after being asked a question by Peter Doocy, Fox News reporter. Check it out.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead?
You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody. And
how did you find out?
And you know what's crazy about this? Trump was gone for 2 days, and they were saying that, oh, he dead or something wrong with him. But right before he had just took a break for a couple of days, I guess, he did like 3 back-to-back press conferences. Oh, he's doing too much. Something was wrong with him then. So if he does too much, it's something wrong. If he does nothing, there's something wrong. But when Joe Biden does nothing, when Joe Biden falls on the ground, busts his head open or whatever, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Hey, don't ask no questions. Yes, you can see Joe Biden's hind parts and his feet up in the air like a dog on the ground trying to get pet, right? The dog on the ground trying to get a pet. That was Joe Biden many times on the floor. But they said, don't worry about it. He's spry and he's young. It's so silly at this point. But yeah, shout out to Trump. Unfortunately for the left, Trump ain't going nowhere.
You get up.
He's still here with us. Now, yet another Ozempic patient, Tampon Tim Waltz, made light of it. Let's watch some of this.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news. You get up in the morning.
Okay, there we go. So he was alluding to the trend on social media about Trump had been dead or something like this. Okay, that's what he's talking about as far as you hoping for something. And Ozempic, I see it again. The telltale signs, in my opinion, it's like, this kind of looks like when somebody gets a lap band surgery because they're not doing lifestyle differences to lose weight. They are losing weight in an unnatural way, which is causing them to lose muscle density and at the same time fat. So their face becomes kind of jaunt. Their body doesn't look right or proportionate. It just looks like there's missing mass, but the same frame is there. What you want to do is have proper diet and exercise to maintain your frame. That's what you want to do. I could lose 10 pounds right now and still keep the frame the way it is. I ain't going to look jaunt in my face and stuff like that. I'm going to still look the same because I'm losing weight naturally and properly rather than getting on drugs like what they say, GLP-1 or Ozempic. So yeah, shout out to Tampon Tim. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, so Burning Man. Hey, you guys want to go to Burning Man? Let's go out to Black Rock. Hey, Black Rock Desert. You can't make it up. Black Rock, like the mortgage, like the investment people. Not them, but if I hear Black Rock, I'm going to be suspicious. Although it is a place in Nevada, I'm going to just say it's too suspicious off the rip without even knowing about the history of this particular event. But let's watch.
Now to this homicide investigation at the popular Burning Man festival. Police say that he was found lying in a pool of blood Saturday night. We don't know his identity yet, but he's described as a white adult male. Attendees being told to stay vigilant as there's an increased law enforcement presence now. Alex Stone is on the story for us. Sounds pretty bizarre and not a lot of details. Do we know anything on how he died and who might be responsible, Alex?
We don't know, Kira, and the Sheriff's Department says that they don't know either. We just talked to the Sheriff's Department. They say they're trying to, identify who the victim is. That this happened right around 9 o'clock at night on Saturday night as the man, as it's known, the effigy that burns on the second to last night of the Burning Man Festival as it was beginning to burn. And they found the victim, they say, quote, obviously deceased when they got to a campground area, and that the victim was the victim of murder. But they have called in forensic teams, other sheriff's office investigators as well. All of this made more difficult by that Black Rock City, which pops up every year for Burning Man, is not a real city, that it's going to be gone by midweek. So a lot of evidence will go away as well. They say that makes it more difficult.
This year's Burning Man has had a series of incidents throughout the week, right? What's going on?
Yeah, a number of different things. One is, and you saw in the photos there a moment ago, all of the wind and the dust storms and the rain. There was flooding that went on. There was a participant in all of these storms who was electrocuted during the rainstorm, stood in a puddle and actually then got electrocuted and was airlifted out. We don't know that participant's condition right now. Then there was a baby that was born to a woman, 36-year-old woman, who she and her husband claimed they didn't even know she was pregnant. 3.5-pound baby born about a month early, but that she claimed that she hadn't even been pregnant, had no symptoms of it. There were medical workers who were camping next to them and actually helped them deliver that baby. So,
I mean, what in the world's going on with Burning Man? Like, what does it do? I think you got some satanic stuff going on, some activity that is cursed, activity that is dangerous, a lot of crime happening that's being covered up by these people. And that kind of city, so-called city, that's what they want. That's how they want to run these Democrat places. Hold on, let's go back. This kind of thing right here, yeah, I would never go to a place like that, knowing the history of it, knowing how far away it's like this is not a real place. It's just out in the middle of the sand. If it rains, you got windstorms, you're going to be in total trouble. The criminal element is going to be there. The security ain't right. I'm good. But if you guys enjoy going to Burning Man, then shout out to you. Shout out to you. Drugs everywhere. That's right, CB. Drugs everywhere. I'm good. That's not a good time to me. I like to go out in nature. I love nature. But you know what I like about nature? My favorite color is green. My favorite color. So I like to be in trees and grass and forest and stuff like that. A field, a wide open field, that's beautiful to me. But an old lake bed that's dry as a bone with no security, I'm good. Don't worry about it. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. All right, let's keep on rocking. I got a few things here because I know I'm running out of time. Okay. They have a transgender district in San Francisco for some reason.
I'm here.
Where else, right? Where else other than San Francisco? Right next to a trail with some human waste on it, you could just have a transgender district. Why not? Let's watch.
I'm here in the transgender district, Brianna. We're talking about placemaking, the first only transgender district in the world. What's happening right here on Golden Gate?
Yeah, so thank you, Mayor. It's really good to see you. Thank you for visiting us here in the district. My name is Brianna McCree, co-executive director of the Transgender District, here with Carolina and Carlo and Orhan, who is the owner of 64 Golden Gate Parking Garage, who has donated his garage space to the district for placemaking and murals. We will have murals of trans artists, trailblazers, and activists, and on the inside we will house murals of our local sports teams, the Giants, the Valkyries. Support this initiative as we help build San Francisco to revitalize the mid-market corridor.
Let's go. Thank you all for your leadership, and I can't wait to see this get painted. It's going to be beautiful right here on Golden Gate.
All right, there we go. So a transgender district in San Francisco. Hey, I'm not going there. I'm not going to the city. I'm good. Left coast, west coast, I'm straight. Don't worry about it. Literally and figuratively, I'm good. I'm straight. Don't worry about it. Okay, now
I'm walking.
We got a transformer who is upset about their treatment at Planet Fitness. Now, this right here is part of the reason why these people are a problem, because they think they're women, but they're not. I just wanted to play this, and I want to tell you what my observation is, okay?
I'm walking out of the women's locker room. I use the women's locker room when I go to the gym, obviously. And this, woman just looks at me as I'm walking out, and she gives me, a really dirty look. So I, give her a dirty look back. I'm like,
bro, are we threatening women? Is that what we're doing? Because understand what's going on here. You may want us to believe that you're a woman, but you're really a man. One thing a man shouldn't be doing is squabbling out in the wild with a woman over a look. Don't be trying to do no aggressive stuff like what you want to do. You want to fight. That is 100% wrong. You are dead wrong. I don't care what you identify as. You're still a man, bro. I see that big neck. You're still a man.
Like, literally, like, because I was just like, I've gotten to a point in my transness that I, like, kind of don't take, like, disrespect from other people, like, from other women. And then the manager is, like, hovering over me, and she's standing there for a second. I'm like, oh my God, what is she about to say? And she looks at me and she's like, you know, women have been complaining that you've been using, that there's been, like, a male in, like, the female locker room. And I was literally like, damn, like, I literally do nothing and this happens. And I feel like cis women don't understand that, like, I can't go into the men's room because I am not seen as a man in there. Like, they will try to do things to me, like, either sexually or aggressively. And that's just the reality. So I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Okay, there's so much here. First of all, bro, you're a man. Let's just stop all the shenanigans, stop all the nonsense. Let's stop playing games. You are a man. What you said toward the end about, well, I can't go to the men's side because they might want to do something to me, whether sexually, aggressively. Okay, welcome to the woman's world, because that's how they feel about you, because you are a man still in their space. They're going to feel intimidated. They're going to feel like you want to do something sexually or aggressive. Get out of the women's locker room. Get out of their space. Now, if you don't want to go to the men's side, I don't know what to tell you. Go do push-ups and pull-ups at home. Okay, do something else. Go outside and jog. You don't got to be inside this space. If there's no space for you, then that's not the fault of the establishment. That's your fault. You're a man who thinks they're a woman. You got to figure that out on your own. It's not our responsibility as society to cater to what you want, to cater to your demands, to your so-called needs. You got to figure it out on your own, bro. And don't be trying to halfway threaten no women, man, because you're still a man at the end of the day. Okay, don't do that. And don't act like you're a victim if you get beat up by a man because you're still a man. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep on moving here. Let's keep on moving. Now, shout out to the homeschool community, the homeschool parents, the homeschool kids. You should have freedom with homeschool to a certain extent, of course. You don't want to have your kid being neglected, not being taught anything, but you should have a certain level of freedom in homeschool that does not exist sometimes in public school or even private school. But in some parts of the country, they're trying to put restrictions on that. Okay. Now you think you want to get away from all the transgender stuff in the locker room and whatnot, and you take your kids home. Now you got to deal with restrictions there, at least in New Jersey. All right, let's watch some of this here. And next story, that's funny. I'll do it whenever I want to do it. Let's get to the next one, though.
Democrats have started targeting homeschooling families in New Jersey. So let's get into what all they're doing. First and foremost, New Jersey used to be one of the easiest states to homeschool in. They didn't make it difficult for you. There weren't a lot of regulations. You could pretty much do whatever you wanted. In June, a Democratic assemblyman put in for Assembly Bill 5825. This was going to completely change the entire New Jersey structure for their homeschooling programs. Basically, the Democratic Party has figured out that parents are pulling their kids from school because they're not okay with the morals being taught in public school. And they've figured out a way to make sure that they can still influence your children, because now they're going to force you to teach them those morals at home. Included in the things that will have to be taught to your children is diversity, equity, and inclusion. This here highlights exactly what will be required, including gender identities and information about LGBT, starting at the age of 6 when your child is in kindergarten. This will be a requirement for all New Jersey homeschooling parents. Click follow to keep up with more homeschooling news.
So they want you to teach DEI and all that public school garbage to your kids in homeschool. Listen, if I had kids and I was doing homeschool, it's like, man, look, lock me up, do whatever you got to do. I refuse. We're not doing that. Homeschool should be free from the public school curriculum or control and the guide of the federal government. It should be beyond that. Okay, you shouldn't be able to just dictate what happens there. So what do y'all think? Would you comply with that particular order from New Jersey about homeschool, how to teach your kids in homeschool, to implement DEI and all kind of woke stuff there? I would never. Hey man, lock me up, do whatever you got to do. Come catch me. But yeah, it's not going to happen. All right. Now, this is a program in many schools across the country where they separate the kids by race, segregation, and they teach the white kids negative things about themselves. They demoralize the white kids and uplift the black kids. I guess that's an effort to create equity, but it doesn't really work that way. Let's watch some of this.
Several schools in New York have implemented what they describe as a novel approach to fighting discrimination. Under the program, children as young as 6 are separated by race into 2 rooms named affinity groups. One room for the white students, the other for non-whites. In the room of non-whites, the students are heaped with praise, told to feel proud of their race and given treats such as cupcakes. But as for the white students, they are scolded, told about their white privilege, about America's history of racism, and of course, no treats are awarded to these children. Parents have claimed that this program deliberately instills in white children a strong sense of guilt about their race. Some kids come home in tears saying, "I'm a bad person." A parent noted, 100% of the curriculum is what whites have done to other races. Parents, moreover, say the classroom segregation only breeds resentment. Younger children, for instance, feel left out when the kids of colour come back to the main classroom munching on cupcakes they were given in their affinity group. The program is run by Anshu Wahi, who's held the title of Director of Diversity at Bank Street since 2013.
Okay, so yes, this is a real thing. I looked it up. It's a real thing. Absolutely. Called affinity groups. It's just racism. And this is why, in part at least, parents want to have their kids out of public school because of this stuff that goes on. You're teaching racism to the children. That's what that is. The thought process is that they think the whites are just naturally ahead of the blacks, so they got to just make the whites be a level down and then boost the blacks up. That's the whole thing with equity they try to do. They try to just, they force it, okay? Rather than, let's say the white kids are here and the black kids are here on average when it comes to education at a young age. Let's just say that's the truth. We can argue about why. It doesn't really matter. Let's just say that's the truth, right? Bringing the whites down or trying to bring them down does not help anyone, really, because you're not challenging the blacks to do better and you're not uplifting the whites to achieve their best. Either you're not requesting either race, either group do their best. You're just excusing the mediocrity from the blacks and you're trying to degrade the whites down to the level of the mediocre blacks who you excuse for being mediocre and you don't challenge. So at the end of the day, nobody wins in that situation. This is why we wanted to go homeschool and stuff like this. But then they say, and at least in New Jersey, well, you still got to have the DEI in there. So don't get too happy. That's crazy. I'm glad I live down here in the free state of Tennessee. I love it because if I didn't, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I would do. Okay. A little bit of Patrick David from Jubilee. How about this was a really good show because for the first time, a lot of these people, a lot of these youngsters, they look younger than what they are, in my humble opinion, but that's a different story. A lot of these youngsters never speak to anybody that's really a professional person. They don't know anybody that is like a Patrick David. So this is their very first time having that interaction, and it allows for them to see their flaws, and it allows for guys like me to see their flaws and point it out to them. So once they are able to observe their flaws, they can go back to their hometown, back to wherever they live at, and they can succeed with some more knowledge. Or maybe they can try to succeed with more knowledge. Well, let's watch some of this. Again, this is Patrick David on Jubilee talking to, what was the 1 capitalist versus 20 anti-capitalists? Check it out.
How about I interview and I give you a job? Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Ooh, man, that's Florida. Sure, why not?
Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Sure, why not?
How about you and I document this? After this, you come, I do an interview with you, and I give you a job. And let's see what you do 90 days later.
Okay, I'll look up your company and all that kind of stuff, and I'll see it.
But you see what just happened.
See, look, all of that, like I said in my video, you hemming and hawing. If Patrick Bet David is in front of me, first of all, the guy, a little bit of context, he had sent like 477 applications. He had sent 477 job applications with nothing to show for it. So if Patrick Bet David, a guy worth $400 million, says, I'll give you a job, say yes. Don't ask what it is. Don't ask nothing. Just say yes. You're going to figure all the details out later. And if it doesn't work out later, then so be it. But right now, say yes. Don't say nothing else other than yes. You have a golden opportunity. Take it. Don't be hemming and hawing because, quite frankly, really, to be totally honest, beggars cannot be choosers. And you, with 477 applications that have been left on red, you are a beggar. You're not a chooser.
But watch what you just did.
Sure.
You just said you applied to 477 companies who's not gone back to you.
Yeah.
A business owner who's hiring aggressively just made an offer to you. You said you're willing to move. Then you said, I'll look at it. You became selective.
I didn't say I'll look at it if you'd let me finish my sentence.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I would like to look into your company to see exactly what you guys do.
You would like to?
Because I don't know what you guys do.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, I may be wasting my time going. If you guys are a finance company, if you guys are a bank or something like that, I don't have the certifications. I don't have the degrees.
Okay, a lot of negative self-talk right there. A lot of negative self-talk, but also he's very nervous. Look at his legs at the bottom of the screen.
So as far as I'm concerned, I may be wasting my time going. If you guys are a finance company, if you guys are
his legs are like this. That's nerves talking. When I was on Jubilee, I was sitting in that same chair that he's sitting in. The same exact chair. First of all, your posture. Look at your posture. You're hunched over, legs are shaking. When I was in the chair, I'm sitting up straight and I'm chilling, looking straight ahead. Confident. You got to have that. And if you don't have it, potential employers can see it, which is maybe why you sent 477 applications and you have nothing. Maybe that's why. Again, this is a good way for us to see your flaws, identify them, and give you pointers on how to improve yourself so you can improve your what I'm trying to say. You can improve your status in the job market pretty much.
So as far as I'm concerned, I may be wasting my time going. If you guys are a finance company, if you guys are a bank or something like that, I don't have the certifications. I don't have the degrees. So even interviewing me would be a moot point.
What if I gave you a job, period, to work 80 hours a week? Would you take it? And I paid you a reasonable wage.
Are we talking a livable wage or a reasonable wage?
What do you
and
make
whose
right
version
now?
of reasonable are we
What do you
talking
make
about?
right
Your
now?
version of reasonable or my version of
But
reasonable?
you see, so now for me, what I'm noticing from you is
I need specifics?
No, not necessarily. No.
Like now you're trying to be funny. It's like, bro, at that point, I'm disrespected as the business owner. Because for real, I don't need you at all. You need me. So it shouldn't be all this trying to make jokes and hemming and hawing. For real, I'm going to go ahead and just move on and figure something else out. And find someone who's serious about trying to work.
Most of the people I hired need specifics. The difference is I'm trying to hire them. In this instance, you're trying to get a job and you're being selective. It's going to work against you.
I'm not trying to get a job. Originally, I was
My
trying to
offer is
ask you
off
where
the
the
table.
moral felt.
My offer's off the table
Okay, that's
because
fine.
you're going to be difficult to work with.
Okay, sure. But my question was, where is my moral failing? Like, where is it that you are saying that I am not working hard enough and I am not doing
I just
enough?
experienced it right now because the way you just handled this situation.
Got it.
Here
So I should
was-
accept anything that somebody.
Bro, see, look, too much arguing, too much back and forth, too much squabbling. Nah, don't even worry about it. At that, like, right when he was trying to make that joke, I need specifics. Right when he said that, I would have been like, never mind, you got it. And this guy looks to be kind of young, but he's probably like in his 30s. Okay, I got a question for y'all. How old do you think he actually is? Because the way he's dressed, the way he's talking, his whole thing, it looks like he's young, but he's not that young. He's probably about 32 years old doing that. These kind of guys are always going to struggle in the job market because they don't really have anything that I would want as an employer. So it just is what it is. Exactly. Snowflake says, I take the job. Take a job. Just take it. Just say yes and figure everything else out later. If it doesn't work later, then so be it. But just take it. The numbers. Y'all saying 35, 35, 28. Okay, hold on. So that's him right there. 36, 30s, 41, 38, 28-ish. So all y'all say like in his 30s. That's my assumption as well. That's my assumption as well. Somewhere in the 30s. But his affect, I guess you would say, is like early 20s. This trendy clothing he's wearing is like early 20s. You see what I'm saying? He's dressing like a schoolboy still, but you like in your 30s. And a lot of guys, especially white guys that are not really successful or productive, they kind of fall into that. They fall into like behaving as children still, dressing as children, or they might go to that next level and become transgender because they think they're 12 years old and a girl when they're really a man. See, that's kind of how it happens. That's the spiral they go down. That's a spiral they go down, especially when they smart. I'm not sure if he is or not, but if they smart but not productive, this is Elon Musk's son, who is a transformer. Your dad is the most brilliant man on planet Earth, and you're a transformer. Why? Let's get down to the bottom of it and see what's really going on. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, I got a couple more clips. I want to show you youngsters something about computers. Now, people talking about how easy the boomers had it, how easy maybe even old millennials like me had it compared to the Gen Z. But your life is too easy. The Gen Z or Gen Alpha life, in my opinion, is too easy. And it needs to be a little bit harder so you guys have more determination and more ambition. Because look at what they had as far as technology back in the day. This is what we had for computers. And this was not available to the regular everyday person. Like home computers were not really a thing until like the mid 90s. This is like 1989. So let's take a look at this computer and see how much it costs and what you were able to get with it.
Real quick, what's the prices here on these three machines we've seen?
So look, before they get to the price, there's a laptop right there. Again, the year is 1989. How much do you think this laptop that they're showing right here cost? Again, 1989. Do not adjust for inflation. Let's think 1989 prices. Let me give you an example of what something costs back then. 1989, let's say Toyota, what was it, the Corolla out back then? The original price. So in 1989, you could get a new Toyota Corolla for as low as $9,500 to $13,000 for a brand new Toyota Corolla in 1989. That's a little bit of context. Obviously now that same car, $30,000, $25,000, a lot more than what it cost back then. So again, what do y'all think this machinery right here cost? $500, trucker. Come on, trucker. $1,000, $7,000, $3,000, $12,500, $2,000, 10 bands. Okay, let's just watch and see how much it costs.
And Keith, this one's list price at $49.99. This one goes for $95 or 11 grand. Okay.
So when he says $49.99, he means $4,999. Okay, that's what he means. He doesn't mean $40. He means $4,999. And this one was what, 11 grand?
Or 11 grand.
$11,000 in 89 prices. The price of a whole car was what your laptop cost back then. So this was not available to the regular everyday person. This was strictly for businesses to use, not for you or I at all back then.
Okay, depending on the drive. Kevin?
This is $79.99 without modem, 2 megabytes, 40 megabyte hard disk, and $84.99 with.
Well, this is
a 40 megabyte hard disk. Now look, let me just give you a little bit of. Let me just show you how much 40 megabytes is. Hold on. So 40 megabytes. One video would easily be that. Hold on. Let me see if I got one that'll show it. All right, this video right here, hold on. Like a 3-minute video can be about 25 megabytes. That's the size of their whole hard drive. Today, a video can be about 25 megabytes on your phone. That is the size of the whole hard drive in this computer that costs like $10,000. So that shows you how much we've advanced over the years.
It's equivalent to an IBM AT. This is a 12 megahertz 286. It's got a 287 socket. It's got a 20 megabyte hard drive, a 3.5-inch floppy. This is an EGA compatible screen. It's got 16 grayscales. So on the back here, you've got all your standard ports. There's external video for an EGA monitor, 2 serial ports. It's also got a space here for a modem, which would be this kind of modem here.
In addition to the desktop features like removable keyboard and all the ports and full complement of memory, we have.
And you see the screen. You see how nice and HD and 4K that is, and that might be like an 8-inch screen right there at best. At best, 8-inch screen. Now we got big 1,000-foot football field size TVs that you could put a PC up to. It's much different. So things are different today than they were back then. Technology is more accessible. It's more affordable, right in the palm of your hand. So this is why I say to the youngins, especially, you have a supercomputer right here. This device right here is light years beyond that right there. Light years beyond it. And that was only available to businesses, and it costs a crazy, unaffordable amount. Nobody had that in their house. If you had that in your house, you might have sold crack for a living, I guess. All right, I got one more.
What do you do?
So this man right here is, I'm gonna just let it play out, and you can see what's happening.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a vendor and I'm a wholesaler.
And so you're selling these drinks outside the White House?
Yes, ma'am.
So this guy is a vendor and a wholesaler. Right now he has drinks outside the White House. How much do you think this man makes a week? How much? Just give me a wild guess. Again, he says he's a vendor and a wholesaler, and right now he has drinks outside the White House he's selling. Regular t-shirt, regular shorts, do-rag. What do you think he makes every week out there in DC, in front of the White House, wherever he's at? Okay, I'm reading some of the comments. $5,000, 500, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000, 2 to 3,000, 4,000. Okay, 1,000, 1,200. Okay, some of y'all got it right. Let's just watch.
How much are you making on like a weekly basis, day basis, however you quantify it?
Depends on what time of the season it is, what time of the year it is. Sometimes we make like 10 grand a week.
10 grand a week sometimes. 10 grand a week. It could be up, it could be down, but 10 grand a week, that's a pretty good number. A week. $10,000 a week.
I don't just sell beverages. I do vending like all around, like on Pride. I made like 12 grand on Pride.
So they got a misspelling right here. He said Pride, like the gay event, Pride. He made 12 bands on Pride from selling merchandise for them.
Grand on Pride. Like I sold t-shirts. And then the following week was like Donald Trump's birthday plus the 250th anniversary of the Army. So I sold shirts and stuff for that and hats and all that. So I'm just out here selling. I mean, free market capitalism, that's DC.
Any advice for others who are interested in also vending on the street or wholesaling? Any advice?
Stop being lazy. Get out of your own way. Don't really be like ashamed or embarrassed of what you're doing, because at the end of the day, you're making more money than people's bosses. Whoever you think that you're being embarrassed of, you make more money than the person they work for. Period. So, you know what I'm saying?
So there you go. So 10 grand a week from selling hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more. Okay, yes, you could do that. And I see them all the time out of DC. They be out there for special events. You see them all the time. They'll have like stands set up selling t-shirts or whatever. Now that's probably his gross, but he probably selling these hats for like double what he bought and some change. And he probably has like a couple employees work with him. I would suppose maybe at least like one other person. Because a lot of times they be in teams. It'd be like 2 or 3 of them. So after he takes care of the inventory and any employees, he probably could take home easily $5 grand a week profit. Maybe $3 grand a week profit for himself. I would say at least $3 grand a week profit for himself from selling hats, t-shirts, stickers, Gatorades, waters, or whatever. So people with felonies, people that got all kind of backgrounds, you can still make a living in this country. It's America. It is America. Is he paying taxes? I don't know. Probably so. I would suppose so. I would suppose so. I don't see why not. All right. I'm gonna show you a house. Matter of fact, I don't got no time. I'm gonna save the house for next time because the house is beautiful. Matter of fact, never mind. I'm gonna show you the house because I don't care. This is in Atlanta. This is Atlanta. I ain't gonna show it at first because I don't want to show you how beautiful Atlanta is. Some of y'all don't really understand. This is in Virginia Highland, right in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia.
It's one of those few houses that when I sent the text to the listing agent to let me post it for you guys, I literally had to cross my fingers and just pray. I mean, I do these for free, but for this one, I probably would have paid him to let me post it. I'm not even gonna lie. So starting off strong, this one was just listed a few days ago in the Virginia Highland neighborhood of Atlanta. And I always feel so lucky to be able to film anything for you guys here because inventory is so low with this being such a desirable neighborhood.
Before we continue, a little bit of about the house. It's a 2.5, so 4 bed, 2.5 baths. It's about 3,000 square foot. And the price, I'll tell you at the end.
I mean, you really can't beat the street that this is on, being so close to Piedmont Park, the Beltline, and just all of the shops, restaurants, and bars in Virginia Highlands. This one was built in 1930. It is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, and it's just under 3,000 square feet. I wanted to take you guys through the back because this is how you would come in if you bought the house and lived here. And honestly, the walk-in from the back is almost better than the front, so I just wanted to show you this way. One thing you're going to notice about this home is how many differing colors and textures there are. I could honestly go on and on about this kitchen, but things I'm obsessed with: one, the really intricate crown moldings that I don't even believe are original. I think those were added custom later. The fridge that matches the cabinets perfectly, the vintage style oven, the exposed brick that I didn't even show yet. This is the most perfect powder room ever. The exposed brick, the black granite, I believe it was leathered granite too, which has, it was a little bit more texture to it. So much visual interest. Then going into the dining area, these are original floors to the home, so 1930. They've been refinished and, brought back to life. If you saw my last video, you will recognize this room. This is one of the most beautiful examples of color drenching that I've ever seen. And honestly, I would never think to use this color for color drenching, but when I saw it like this, I ate my words. So here's your second living area.
So you get the idea. Now, this home, again, it's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath in Atlanta, Virginia Highland, $1.87 million. Yes. In Atlanta, absolutely. Now, look, if I just had a bunch of money laying around, I would buy that house today. The neighborhood, the way it looks, everything, yeah. Somebody said it, probably a surgeon at Emory. Yeah, for sure. That's where they live at. Yes. But again, 1.87, big money. And the problem is some people say they want to live in a house like that. It's like, well, you got to crawl before you can walk now. Everybody can't live in no beautiful, crazy house like that. That's like a dream right there. So what do y'all think? The rugs were kind of a little bit, I ain't like the rugs in the, on top of that tile floor. I ain't like the runner and the rug in there. I ain't like that. That was, it's kind of, they don't really go right there. But I understand why they did that. Probably because they want to keep them floors clean. I get it. But a big runner right there and the rug in the kitchen, I don't like that. Man, I have a runner in my kitchen, but it's not like that. Yeah, I get it, but I wouldn't put it right there. Color drenching, I have no idea what that is, but let's get to some calls and super chats and whatnot. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Let's go to the super chats right quick. Thank you to J.R. Williams, who says, hey, ABL, is it just me, or did the Epstein victim press conference seem super hokey? One victim said she lured 24 girls to Epstein Island at $200 a pop. Yeah, I don't really believe that too much. Thank you to Ryan for the super chat. Thank you to Mauricio91, who says, how about black people can't get IDs? They don't understand the bigger sheet low expectations. Yeah, it's crazy. The dumbest thing in the world. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, okay, Mr. White Liberal, thank you. Laughing emoji. Thank you to the white man, who says, thanks, ABL, for your tireless dedication, and shout out to the best moderator on these interwebs at Sheree. Shout out to Sheree. Absolutely. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, if you think strong men are evil, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. Oh, yeah. When weak men attack is crazy. This is the transgender thing. That's the weak men that want to go in the bathrooms and be around women and eventually assault them and stuff like that. That's them. And when somebody's scared, when somebody's petrified, that's going to be the most dangerous person. When somebody's scared and they're not mentally right, that right there will be the most dangerous guy, because they will hurt themselves to hurt you and not think twice. Yeah, you don't want that kind of person to be anywhere near your midst. All right. But let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's get to some calls. Again, the number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And there we go. Was it overpriced, that house? Nah, if you know that neighborhood, it's not overpriced at all. That's actually right on point. Yes. If you want to live in these really desirable neighborhoods with these nice houses, you're going to pay that money for sure. You're going to pay that. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can. They had a listing up under it. I don't want to blast it out, but it did have a listing up under it. And I can see exactly where that was. Like, I can tell you a little bit of information about the neighborhood. Okay, hold on. Park Drive, Northeast. All right, hold on. Yeah, it's right beside Piedmont Park, the Belt Line, the Botanical Garden. Oh yeah, that is a very desirable part of the city. Hey, Piedmont, all of that right there is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, 100%. Yeah, very desirable. All right, and then you like right down from Lenox. Druid Hills, Decatur is not that far away. Oh yeah, man, come on. Yeah. Decatur's coming up too. Decatur's like, they said it's like one of the best places to live in the country. And houses out in Decatur going for the same price that they are out there, Virginia Highland. Yeah, for sure. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I like country houses too. Some World Squishy said about a home in the country, thieves target those communities. You're right about that. There is a security issue, but out there, it's not really that bad with the security. If you go like Midtown or like the West Side or something like that, then yeah. But over there, it's not that bad. But I prefer a country-esque house. Like where I live, it's a subdivision, but we're like country adjacent. Put it to you that way. It's beautiful, beautiful trees and hills. I love it, man. Absolutely. Jen J said desirable part of Atlanta isn't saying much. I'm telling y'all, but look, y'all sleeping on Atlanta. Keep sleeping. It's fine because we're full anyway, so it don't matter. But it's a beautiful place to be. It really is. There's bad parts of it, but that's just over there. That's over there. If you were to say, okay, Atlanta or Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta every single time, you got the weather advantage because it's going to snow in New York and Chicago. So automatically, I don't want that. You got a lot of heavy crime in these other bigger cities like Chicago, New York, LA, a lot of gang, a lot of heavy crime out there. Atlanta's not that way. You warm, you got a nice tree canopy, you got a lot of waterfalls, you get everything. It's great. All right, hold on. CJ Carmichael says, if I buy ABL, can you come and visit? Where are you buying at? Are you buying out there in Georgia? Mauricio says, I work in Midtown, holding homeless people. We work in Midtown. And you're probably in West Midtown, which is the west side. You in the bad area. So, yeah, Midtown, I wouldn't live in Midtown. Nah. You know, I got some friends who live out Midtown. Visiting them, it's like, man, I got to get my gun out. Hey, going to Midtown, I need to get my gun out before I get out my car. I don't be over there. And there's too many LGBT in Midtown too. So I don't be over there really. I be over there or like up north outside, OTP. I don't be over on the west side. Nah. Yeah, you in the woods of Tennessee. Hey, you got the right idea, John. I like being up here in Tennessee as well too. I like being up here in the hills and the trees and the beautiful environment of East Tennessee. Absolutely. Humble says, I couldn't live anywhere that isn't near a coast and mountains. So that's like California, ain't it? That's the allure of California. 734, you don't know who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Taisha from Michigan. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good. I just had a couple comments tonight. My first comment was, I like that they're going into Chicago. I mean, they call themselves Chirac. I literally just watched a video of Nick Shirley yesterday. He went to Chicago. And, like, guys, they literally had AK-47s in broad daylight talking about shooting and killing at each other like it was normal. And then they're so stupid. They was literally flashing the guns in their face in the camera and then put a mask on their face as if we just didn't see them before they put the mask on. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw some of that as well. It's like, man, what are y'all doing? I'm like, hey, y'all are pretty much asking the police to come get you right now.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how are you guys not scared of that? And then it's like the protesters. These people, they can't have a job. Like, how are you guys not at work? You guys are protesting for the craziest things. Like, who are paying these people? Like, a lot of those people have to be getting paid. And then we do have the other people that just don't have a job, don't have anything to do, just want to protest for nothing. I feel like we should just put those people on an island with no law enforcement and just see how they maintain, since they want to protest about people trying to go in and get a city safe.
I mean, that should happen. Let them have their own little place and see how well it goes in about a month. It'd be all the pieces.
Exactly. And then my second comment was regarding the women coming out talking about the Epstein files. I will not even consider it until maybe about 5 years, because right now, the only person the main person, I feel like the only person they'll go after right now is Trump. Trump. No, nobody else. So it's not until 5 years that I would even consider it.
Exactly. Right on.
So that's my only comment for tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. Great call. Shout out to the caller. And shout out to you guys for rocking and rolling with me. Again, the number to call is, there it is, 706-406-3287. Yeah, man. Shout out to the Orange Man. They can't keep the Orange Man down. They're gonna try, but it ain't working. And send all them fools that want to get in the way, that want to stop the country's true progress. Send them to their own little island. Send them to their own little version of Epstein Island. Send them to that and see how that works out. If they can continue civilization on that island by themselves, that's what I want to see. That is what that'd be a good thing to witness. See if they can actually make that happen. You guys are crazy with some of these comments. Crypto Mountain Man says all Americans want safe neighborhoods, no matter what they look like. Wake up and demand safe neighborhoods. Exactly. 100%. You living in a place where you paying taxes, you should request security and be given proper security within reason, of course. I ain't trying to say you got to have a personal security guard with every person, but I mean, good grief. Let's have some level of law enforcement if we're paying taxes, because if we're paying taxes and we don't have no law enforcement, no security, then what are we paying taxes for? What's the purpose? I don't really understand. All right. Observer says, I rode a Greyhound from Spokane, Washington to Phoenix, Arizona. It sucked. Well, I'm sure it did. Left Coast doing something like that. You probably got you probably got a mobile crack house. Who wants to be on a mobile crack house? I know I don't. Yeah, I know I don't, because them crackheads and whatnot, they will travel. They'll go to a place where they feel like it's more opportunity, where they can be homeless and get services. Yeah, they will do that. They get on planes, trains, automobiles. They'll do whatever they need to do to get to where they want to be to take advantage of those resources. A lot of them go to LA like that. They hop on the Amtrak, they hop on a freight train and go straight to Los Angeles, so they could just smoke crack all day right outside and get funded by local services. That's the game they play. Half Orc Monk says a good organized neighborhood block watch is very effective. Oh yeah, they got that. Like, and a lot of these neighborhoods also in Atlanta, when you drive through it, first of all, you got speed humps every 2 seconds. You have neighborhood watch, cameras, speed humps. The security is pretty good. Like out here in the South, we got pretty good security, in my humble opinion. Compared to a place like Chirac, Chicago, LA, the security and the cleanliness is questionable depending upon where you are. Atlanta, Georgia is different. It's much different. The South in general, regardless of where you are, is different than a lot of your northern places. Hey, Ian Jones, you cannot catch them crackheads. Once they get released, it's like a roach got released into your house. Hey, let somebody just have a roach in their hand and just throw it in your house. You're never going to see it again until they come back with his cousins. That's what's going to happen. And don't let it be a German. They're the worst. The Germans are the absolute worst. But the Americans, they kind of like lazy. They're kind of fat and lazy. They pretty much be chilling. But the Germans right to work. The Germans produce themselves a lot more. They built little networks. That's going to be the worst one. But the American, he going to be dead in the day because all he want to do is go outside in the trees. But anyway, the number to call is 706-406-3287. I've seen all the different kind of roaches in the house before. The Americans, the Germans, and then the other one had the big crazy shell on it. I was in the girl's house many years ago. I might have been like 18, 19. I was super young. I was dumb young. This girl was older than me. She had a baby and everything. That was a different story. Anyway, I'm in her house in Virginia Beach, and she has these armored roaches on the floor. I got my shoe trying to kill it, and she got this high-powered carpet. I'm squishing it into the carpet, and it did nothing. I hit it like that. Boom. Squished it. I released my shoe. It shot back off like, that's all you got, bro, for real? Like, don't you see my armor? You better come with a hammer or some kind of blunt instrument. Not this Nike. This regular, high top Air Force One. That ain't gonna do it, bro. Come on. Like, give me something a little bit stronger than that. So yeah. Shout out to everybody that has no home rodents or insects. You're doing the good thing. You got everything going the right way. Armored. Hey, man. Some kind of stuff on their back. I don't know what they called. They're not Germans or Americans. They might have been some kind of, African. I don't know what that was. Like Africanized honeybees. Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to deal with that type of action. But I got a little bit of time left. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Ken to the Wind says, what you do when that happens is you drag your foot along the carpet, it'll tear it all up. Bro, I mean, I had the leverage. I had how you have a shoe nearby, you put your hand inside the shoe and use it as a glove. So I had the leverage of my elbow and everything. I'm like kind of on the ground, but not really. Matter of fact, I'm standing up, and I have the leverage of my hand pushing it down, but the carpet pile was too high, so I couldn't really get down to the meat of the skeleton. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't want to be too gross right now tonight. So anybody want to call is fine. 706-406-3287. You had water bugs in Virginia. Of course, you're going to have them in Virginia for sure. That's going to be them Americans. Who am I speaking to? 617 on the line.
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
What's happening?
Ignorance is a huge problem, man.
Okay, why you say that?
I think people talking about sending the National Guard to Chicago, right, and all this, and they don't even know what is the role of the National Guard.
Okay, so where is the ignorance play in? Where you get the ignorant part from? Okay, I don't know what's going on. You got a call. you got to do some work. I don't know what's happening. The immigration called you, like, yo, we're here. You on the call with this guy. Meanwhile, you need to go to court today to get that cleared up, or you going right back on the boat. So yeah, I ain't hang up on him. He just hung up. I don't know what happened. It said, speaking of roaches, you guys are funny. So what could have been what he was talking about as far as the ignorance, the role of the National Guard? And A long story short, the National Guard will be there for security purposes, right? You want a secure place that has security problems. Therefore, National Guard gets activated and you're able to help with the security issue. Okay, what was that about? I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah, man, somebody got him on the phone. Somebody was in the background talking. Who knows? But again, the number to call is 706-406-3287. I got a teeny bit more time left, but I'll be here for a while. And y'all know I'm always here every Wednesday and Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, actually, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm always on the Instagrams streaming on Tuesday. And shout out to the Facebook community. I got to figure out a way to do a Facebook stream. I'm going to try to do like 2 phones, set them up to do the Facebook stream and the Instagram stream at the same time. But I still need a device to be able to monitor what's happening. So maybe I can get an iPad or something like this. I have an iPad somewhere, but I'll never use no iPad. I'm not an iPad person. I prefer this right here. This bad boy here, this is my Samsung. I love my Samsung. My Samsung S25, I love it. I do all my work, all my short videos I do, where I'm in the kitchen standing up. That's all on this phone right here. With the front camera, I do the front camera in the kitchen to do all of my shorts where you see me standing up. On this, I could never. It ain't my thing. 830, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Corrections, Mike.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? I love the show as usual. I'm just saying, this Chicago stuff is, we need more of that National Guard over there. We need them today. This crime is not going to be solved with that incompetent governor. I'm sorry, sir.
I agree with you, because we see the crime has been out of control for a very long time, and the governor's been there for a long time as well. So it was like, what are you really doing? Apparently not enough. So let's bring the Guard in there and see what they can do.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Been in corrections for many years, and I just see it. And all these people that say, oh, well, we don't need more law enforcement. You don't need these criminal animals around your home, around your family, and your children. Absolutely not.
Exactly. 100%.
I mean, it's sickening that these people are so brainwashed that they do not want to see this and realize it. I don't want to take too much of your time, ABL. Like I said, love the show. I just had to get that off my chest, sir.
Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Oh, you be good, ABL.
All right, now.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, gotta have the security out there. If the governor, the mayor, all those in power can't fix the problem, they're not really making the dent in the problem. Let's see if we could get the Guard in there and maybe they do something. Yeah, Mayor Mohawk ain't doing nothing out there. Mayor Mohawk is not making it happen at all. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And shout out to one of you guys who called in and told me about the AI music. Yeah, one of you guys told me about that. You sent me an email. Thank you for the email. I used the AI music on the video about what was that? The strike on the Tren de Agua. So if you watched it on my YouTube page or the Instagram, this video right here, hold on. This video has AI music on it. Let me just show you what I did. Hold on. So you hear that? That was AI generated music. Because originally there was no music on it at all. So I didn't want to put a copyrighted track on it. I didn't want to not have any music. So I made some music through the generator. I think it fit pretty well. What y'all think? And then it hit like right at the right time when toward the end. See, hold on. Not right there, but right here. Watch. See? Yeah, so AI, man, I'm telling you, you gotta use these tools or get left behind. Use these tools. Yeah, that's right. That's AI music. Yep. So I'll do that for stuff like that where it just needs a backing, and I don't want to use copyrighted music because you can't get a claim for that. They can take your video down and everything else. So I don't really want to play around with that. Just to have something in the background. That's all. Not bad. Sounds kind of horror movie-ish. I use Suno. Yes, I did, Monique. Yep. Is that what it's called? Suno? I think that's what it's called. Hold on. Let me look on my phone. I think I still got it open. Nah, it's not Suno. It's Udio. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm really new to all this, so I'm still learning. But back in my day, I used to make beats. I used to try to make beats on Fruity Loops and all that kind of stuff. I used to try to kind of dibble and dabble, so I know a little bit about music. Well, I know a lot about music actually, but I know a little bit about making music. So it kind of brings back to my early days, way back in the day. Humble says, yes, AI music can be okay for background music, but not people trying to be artists and musicians. Yeah, no. I think if you want to do AI music for that, you need to do a lot more work on it. But with that particular app, you can download the stems and you can bring it in to your application and work with it. So you can just get a piece of that and use it royalty free. There's no charge on it. Yes, it is free. NKM, it is free. You can take the piece of it and bring it into your music editing app and then do whatever you want with it. You could be very original and use that as a baseline. Monique says, oh yeah, that's Suno's competitor. Okay, there we go. Crypto says AI is the future. You might as well learn how to use it to your advantage. You might as well. Yep, you have to. It's just the same way that, and people trying to not use AI is like me back in the day wanting to not use a full screen touch phone, a full screen smartphone. Hold on, matter of fact, let me see if I got my phone. I might still have one of my phones. Hold on right quick. Let me see if I can just give me 1 second. No, I don't want to turn that off. I'm turning everything but my camera off. Hold on. There you go. I'm still here though. Let's see if I still got one of my phones from back in the day that I can show you guys. I don't think I do though. But I tried for years to not go with the smartphone wave, but I had to relent. I don't have it no more, I don't think. Yeah, ain't no more of that. Nope, ain't no more of that. All right, I'm back. I am back. Yeah, I was trying to find one of my phones, like my BlackBerry phone. I had that phone until 2018. And my purpose was to not be taken over by I thought this full screen was the same way some of y'all see AI. Like it was too much. I didn't want to be taken over by it, but I had to adopt. And now here we are. Everybody got the full screen. Everybody doom scrolling. The next thing is these AI tools. And if you don't have the AI tools and you're not using them, you're going to get left behind. Hey, the junk drawer is crazy, Monique. I got a few junk drawers, but every now and again, I find a gem in that junk drawer. A cord I need, a piece of something I need to make something happen. I found this little device. Look at this. This is a Samsung tablet from who knows when. So I guess I can use this. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. We gonna see if it works. If I can boot it up. It's like one of them old computers. Like, where did I get this from? What kind of junkyard did I get this device from? I have no idea. Sherry says ABL should run for political office. He would make a difference for the better. Men like him is what our country just needs desperately. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I may just do that in the future. If y'all really want me to do it and you guys are behind me, I think I would most certainly do it, because why not? Why not? Why wouldn't I do it? Your smart TV wants your birthday. See, look, I don't do all that. I ain't giving you everything like that. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Power Ranger X here.
All righty, what's happening?
I wanted to, dude, your topic on the car is so moot. The $9,500 Toyota, $9,500 for the new Toyota in the 80s or 90s. Well, guess what? Here's the thing. The work wage rate was so low. It was like, what, 5 cents per hour? 5 cents per hour where Americans didn't even paid good? And there was like, what was it? It was also like a racist era where people were like having such a tough time. You think people were buying a Toyota for $9,500? Everybody in America is buying crappy cars made from Mexico, which nobody should buy. Like a Chevy and Fords. Like, nobody should buy that crap. But now let's look at 2026. The cars are like $44,000 brand new. Can't afford it. So when we say a brand new car is $9,500, it's so cheap back then. That whole point is new because it's even expensive now. If I can get a 2025 Toyota for $9,500, dude, that's a problem, Sob. It was always too expensive. It was out of reach.
Okay, but the point was not about the car specifically. It was to make a comparison, because although cars are expensive now, they don't cost as much as laptop computers. You understand?
Laptop computers can come as low as $200.
That's my point. Because back then, let's go back then, because you missed the point. The point was, back then, 1989, a new Camry was like $10,000. A laptop also cost the same $10,000. So I'm making the comparison about how expensive the laptop was back then. Laptops are not that expensive now.
Oh, you were comparing the laptop price to the car?
Yes.
Oh, my bad. I was just saying car. I was just looking at the car-to-car ratio and how unaffordable it is.
No, it's all good, boss. It's all good.
Thanks.
Thank you for the call.
Right.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. I appreciate him. Let's go to 830. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. It might have been a little bit slow to the trigger on that one. Let's see if I can get him back. 830. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Amber from Hill Country, Texas.
All righty. What's happening?
Yes, sir. I just had two comments. One was about the National Guard. First of all, I was a combat medic in Baghdad with the military police under General Patriotism, and that was during the surge, and our job over there was to basically recruit, train, and operate the Baghdad police force so we could get I saw what you said, the heck out of there. And we did have National Guard under us, and they were from many places, and they did very well there, and they did that under much worse conditions than what would be going into Chicago. So I have complete faith in what they would be doing out there. My second comment would be that, of just the immigration stuff. You know, we're in Texas. Yeah, there's people out here that have, even in my own neighborhood, they've embedded their families here. They've been here for multiple generations. They do not want to get citizenship, okay? They want to have their TIN number for one person in their home that shows that they're paying taxes, and then they have 30 other people that live with them that siphon off the government, that send all their money home, and they also sell drugs. And we need to get them out of here. And if these democratic cities don't see that, they probably have worse things going on over there. They've got Tren de Aragua. They've got worse stuff than we have. And people need to wake the heck up. I have no problem with the National Guard going in there. And I think the one thing I would say is that I would like to see a benefit package for them, because it was very difficult for them doing year-long or 15-month deployments. And then, they come home, they don't have the resources we had as active duty. They just, they're just out there in left field and starting their whole lives over. So I would say support them, give them some type of benefits package when they have to leave their jobs and their homes and their families, and let's support them and let's take care of this.
So support who now?
The National Guard.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, give them some type of a benefit package of, hey, the mayor in Chicago is saying, they're not trained for this. They can't leave their families. They can't do this. Yes, they are. They're trained. They're capable. Let's just pump them up. Let's just take care of their families, and let's support them in doing their mission here in our country, which is what they're trying to do.
Right on. Absolutely.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for the call.
And thank you for all you do.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to her. Let's go to, who am I speaking to? You on line 317.
Hi, it's Tommy W., many-time caller. I was just wondering about a few things. That guy Alex Jones thinks that Trump is going to have like a health problem or collapse within the next year. Do you think that's at all true or no?
Well, I don't see any evidence of that, so I don't think so.
Well, they said his ankle's bloating and he wasn't healthy or whatever. I don't know.
So he has swollen ankles. That means he's going to die? Is that what that means? I never heard that before.
I don't know. It's like a fluid retention. It's a symptom of other things. I don't know enough about it.
Nah, I mean, like,
if you agree with that, so.
Yeah, swollen ankles, that's not enough. I mean, people can have that and not really be at risk of dying. That's not really that deep of an issue. People have that and they just wear compression socks and live forever. So that's not enough to say that he's going to die in a year.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that he's okay. Another thing, this is off topic, but I'm thinking about moving, and I live in Indianapolis now, 16 years, but I was wondering, what made you go from Virginia to Tennessee? I was just there visiting last month in Knoxville.
Well, for one, I was married before, and she from here. And also, before I left, I knew I wanted to come down south, further down south anyway. Like, I was thinking about Atlanta, and I'm not far from Atlanta. I just prefer the southern weather, the climate, and then I like East Tennessee because of the mountains. And me being from West Virginia originally, it's the same mountain range, so it feels like home. It's like a combination of Virginia, like Eastern Virginia, with the population being a little bit more than West Virginia. But West Virginia, as far as the terrain. So for me, it's just a good region that feels comfortable.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've been to Virginia, I think only twice. It's a nice state, but it has the same like East Coast weather, whereas I haven't been to Tennessee other than just visiting just at one time. Is it nicer weather than Tennessee?
Yeah, see, Tennessee, you got to be, it depends on where you are in Tennessee, because if you go to Nashville, you get snow a lot because it's higher elevation, and it's further up north, actually, than where I live. So in East Tennessee, as long as you're not necessarily in the mountains, and the further south you are, it's not going to snow. Like where I live, it doesn't really snow at all. It might snow one time in the season, and when it does snow, it'll melt in the same day.
Well, I was in Knoxville. That's East Tennessee. You mean there, or like Pigeon Forge or Chattanooga?
Like Chattanooga, like that's gonna be further south. Knoxville is cool too, but Knoxville, you're getting closer to the mountains and a little bit further up north. So it may snow there a little bit, but not too much. Knoxville is cool too. If you like that kind of environment, it's cool.
I'm thinking about visiting again. All right. Well, it's good talking to you, man. Be well.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. So yeah, man, Tennessee, it's good. Good place to be. If you go to Nashville, like Middle Tennessee, it will snow. Higher elevation, and Nashville is further up north. For me, the further south, the better, as long as I'm not like in Miami or something like that. Shout out to Miami, but it's just a little bit too vulnerable out there with the weather. All right. That'll be a wrap for me. You guys are fantastic. As always, if you enjoyed the call tonight, if you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And y'all know I'm here each and every Tuesday on the Instagram going live. Wednesday, Saturday on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, this is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to as well. It'll be in favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or go to favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And I think that'll pretty much be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for watching, the retweeting, super chat, and whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. And I saw a troll a little while ago. Shout out to Monique getting the trolls tonight. Shout out to everybody for doing their part to make sure that the chat is good. And I got one super chat here. I'll read that right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to Michael D'Angelo, who says, thoughts on Trump's crypto world library financial. I have no idea. I'm not really a crypto bro, so I don't know nothing about that. I've not heard about it until right now. I might look into it and give an opinion on it, but right now I don't know. Crypto in general, I'm not really strong on crypto. I prefer stocks over crypto personally, but that could be my own ignorance playing into it. Maybe I just don't know a lot about crypto to really to give an opinion on it, but it's just not really my thing personally. So we'll see about how that whole thing goes. Hopefully everything works well with that, but that'll pretty much be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.